not another one!
And once he uses his English capabilities, he's going to go. No, he's just going to play Kyle. Right, excited and throw evil twin.
What's evil?
Yeah, it's
What? He's already a bastard!
Go ahead. Oh my goodness. That didn't really quite do it at all.
Oh, it's Turkish!
Yeah.
Are we all ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Dolly, you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you... You're sending me a message?
Yeah.
Okay. And a quick here. Thank you. Was that it?
Yeah.
Let's have a smell.
Oh, yeah, poke the bear!
I just wanted to like. Anyway,
Can you hear everybody okay, Doyle?
I think so. I was having to.
So, last we left off, the champions of Kyrathis, having dispatched the going evil in the spider swamps, are now venturing north of the north of Tether to Summercrest, to seek out the origin of the bounty placed on Lord Tobias's head, and also to attend the trial of Gritwald, after he went on a murderous rampage in Daramar, dispatching the villainous baker, leaving his wife and child to fend for themselves.
We don't know anything about the other person, do we?
No, we don't care.
Yeah, it's
Oh!
I only killed one. No, we only found out about one.
God, you're a right bastard.
You
Baker's
travel.
family are like getting over it well and found closer to try and give them some money. The other guy's like destitute. There's family like on the streets.
It was improbable.
You travelled across the country through the small city of Saharkin and the old capsule of Zazesper, and began your journey through the Star Spire Mountains with the map you obtained from the Dragonborn Drager at Mithraios. You picked your way through a deep ravine, but with no signs of life on either side, except for two large piles of stones. You began to make your way through. Then, just as you were fooling around and being merry, two large stones hurtled through the air, striking some of the party to the floor and initiating a battle with large giants. You managed to defeat them, and there, catching your breath, in the post-battle heat, surrounded by the bodies of two massive hulking giant forms.
There's only one body.
Why?
There's only one body and we turned it over into a mouse.
Oh, we did. We put him
that's
under a
so
rock.
true.
Hidden behind.
So, surrounded by the body of one massive giant, we start today's session.
Shall we go before the mouse turns back into a hill giant?
Let's do that.
Alright, let's keep our eyes up for more.
Yeah, and mushroom.
I missed
It's not
Really low perception.
Just can we let this be a lesson to the rest of you? This is how it feels to be small. Smaller than other people.
Yeah.
Oh god, goodness.
The little people.
I got my horse to eat.
That'd be a natural one from the city. Okay, then do you want to do a perception check then? So you can see me or something?
I won't. As you sound so desperate, I won't know what's perception.
No? Anybody? You don't need to?
That's your five.
Alright.
You got new dice as well.
Oh, my eyes!
That's
Oh.
good.
They're just covered in blood.
Sand in my eyes.
15.
Okay, so- You are just fascinated by these bodies and like you can't see over them. Like after what Bree said, you just got down on your knees and you're like, okay, yeah, everybody is tall, so you can't see anything. Tren, you do see the two large piles of stones where the initial ones were thrown from.
Ah.
it kind of clicks into place that perhaps this was a trap that they set for people who come through
You
here.
really walk into a
Um,
trap set by hill giants.
Apparently
They're quite smart, I
so.
believe.
My
actually
things
terrible.
are.
Well, you know what, if there's hill giants, like, obviously not patrolling, but looking to trap people in this area, maybe they've caught a few people before, so if you find their hideout, they might have quite a bit of loot.
I think
perhaps.
hill giants are quite known for their intellect, though. So I think they might be smarter than that.
Well, I mean, Toby was able to convince this guy to just start attacking his friend.
That is true.
Yeah,
If I want to buy his master
yeah.
woman.
Let's go
Oh,
get
did I
the
see
loot.
anything else apart from the hammer?
From the pile of stones on the western side, you do see what looks like a faint path. So on the left side of you see there's there does look like maybe a faint path coming from the stones. On the right side, it doesn't look like there's anything. So perhaps.
Did you find anything you were looking for?
I
If
think
you're really sure,
if you look,
I scrambled on the side of the giant's body. If you look up
I
there,
stand up.
yeah. If you look over there,
Yeah.
oh, the big
Yeah.
bars with the path.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I didn't see that.
Shall we go there now?
So you pick your way up the side. Now it's fairly steep. When they came running down, kind of charging down at you, it was fast and it was with big strides, but it is a very steep thing. But you managed to kind of scramble up to this kind of large pile of stones, kind of in the rough shape that was thrown at you previously. And you see behind it, there does seem to be a path kind of leading off, kind of not kind of weathered as such, but you can see like tracks of where hill giants would have come from. So you begin to.
Is there more? Does it look like more than two? See if I can survive. That was a 15.
No. It looks like one came in and then one branch. You can see where one set of
Oh,
footprints
okay.
kind of went
Yeah.
further up the ravine. You also know, a good check, that hill giants do tend to be in small packs. Two's quite small, but it's not unknown for kind of two solitary ones. They kind of set up their own wee little kind of ambushes where they think they can get prey, so whether it be animals, prey, another Shrek
Was
thing. Whether it be popular trade routes near towns, that kind of thing. So wherever they can handily get me, they're kind of naturally fairly lazy kind of creatures. So anywhere that's kind of available. So you begin to follow this path, and it kind of picks its way further up to the lip of the ravine. And as you get up to the top, it kind of there's a small plateau before it starts to dip again. And just on the other side, where it starts to dip, you do see the top of a structure just poking out.
What do we see?
what's the structure?
Do you want to go investigate?
Yeah.
Before you move forward, what do we see as the view?
Okay. So before you, as you've kind of got to the top of this, and this is one of the first views that you've got climbing up the tradeways thus far for this. I mean, you've only been in for about half a day. Thus far, you've just kind of been at the base of them, and the tradeway's been at the bottom of this. It kind of picks its way through without kind of making any large ascents. As you kind of reach this crest here, you kind of look out and you see behind you, you can just see in the distance, the sea off to the west, just vaguely this kind of blue shimmering line in the distance. And kind of northwards where you're headed, there is just this kind of vast mountain range. Many, many peaks, none of them seem to be too large, except for one kind of northwesterly, quite a bit larger than the rest, maybe an extra couple thousand feet higher. which kind of comes up in just one singular point and comes to quite a sharp kind
Do I know anything about the mountain?
of. Yes, you would know that it's. It is mountain.
It is made of rock.
Yes. The mountain is Mount Aldir, which is the largest mountain in the range, and it used to be it was kind of fabled for the old layer of Balagos, which was a great red lion.
I don't like being this high up because of this buildings.
Yeah, so I see obstruction.
Might be loot.
I've got my loot here.
So you make your way.
Wait, your loot is loot.
Oh, by the way, quickly before we go on, how is everyone doing? How beat up does everyone feel?
I'm a little bit beat up.
I feel fine.
Okay. Well, I will use 20 lay on hands for you, good sir. And Linda, you can have
That
10
Elvis.
if you like.
Yeah.
Ah.
Would you like?
Mine is free.
I just picked up.
Sorry.
You know, a bit.
3.
Oh, no,
Sorry,
it's
would you
dwarf.
like?
I guess it.
I
10 would be
Yeah,
nice.
Okay, there we go.
Engineers.
Cool. I've laid on all my hands.
Okay.
So it's like percentage.
You've touched everybody up.
Lay my hands on you.
So you quickly kind of lay your hands on the members of your party, and you all feel slightly rejuvenated.
And then I use
And then you just lay your hands. And you pick your way kind of across this kind of scrabble of stones which are in front of you to the structure on the other kind of side of this plateau before it starts to kind of descend again. And as you just get to that lip, you see there's kind of like a path leading down into this massive kind of doorway. It looks like this is maybe like the top floor, and as you're kind of looking around, the top floor of a kind of stone kind of hut, kind of fortress, kind of that's been built into the side of the mountain. That's maybe and the footprints seem to lead down into this. Make yourself.
14.
Don't you hear the wind whistling kind of through the peaks.
Could you stop? Sorry.
But there is a just like lack of movement.
Just like a stone bunker.
That sounds
It's
good.
kind of
Let's
like
go
a
in, guys.
stone bunker, yeah, kind of quite square, not kind of sharp corners. It kind of looks like it's been.
Does it look big? My giants. Or is it like I'm gonna go knock on the door? Is there a door? Knock on the door.
Doorway. It's
I
just
go-
this kind of,
I go
like
knock knock. Just no way up.
yeah.
Can you see inside there?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
So it's fairly dark in the interior. So apart from this kind of big doorway here, which is maybe like 12, 13 foot high, enough that my whole dragon could kind of get into, it casts this kind of light, which is actually at this point kind of behind you. East or west?
East to west because east is the land.
Yes. It's just coming in behind you, and so you can kind of see your guys' shadows almost, but you can't really see them to the rest.
I catch dancing lights. Sorry, Doyle. I think you said first.
What did you say, Doyle?
I said, can I see it?
You've got dark vision. You can kind of see kind of the contrast between the dark and light. You know, it's a bit off-putting, but you can see into the light. You don't see kind of any movement in there as such. You just kind of see what looks like furniture and
Did I cast dancing lights and send one down?
hope the dark.
I penetrate the dark.
You penetrate the darkness. So you kind of
The darkness is essential.
you penetrate the light, and as you kind of peer in, you see a very kind of basic furnished kind of room. There's a big kind of stone slab placed upon like a boulder. Looks like it's been there a long time. Two kind of boulders next to it, which kind of looks like it could be a chair. You know, it looks kind of like a table and kind of thing. There is what you could class as a bookshelf, but there are certainly no books on it. And
Is that a bookshelf?
there are a couple skull heads of various
That's a
creatures
skull
on the
shelf.
That's a shelf. In that's in the right as you're walking. On the left, there seems to be some bedrooms and stuff. It's fairly dark, apart from this kind of light that's coming in behind you.
No, I've got dancing legends.
Yeah, yes,
I
well,
don't know. I was like a torch.
yeah. So as you kind of swing it around, you this is
I do a group class and just put it more. Does it look like there's like anything to rock to there?
Bird! Investigation.
Can I do that too? I'm searching for shiny things.
That is the two people. Go ahead.
Okay, you search for shiny things, I'll look for dolphins.
Okay,
Up there.
I should cover all things.
Yeah, exactly.
I got 12.
I got 14.
12 and 14. You both find as you. What are you looking for?
Shinies, non-shiny.
Non-shiny. Well,
I will blatantly ignore.
anything shiny.
Gold.
Well,
Gold.
with the investigation
Diamond.
check, you start over at the dirty bedrolls, which you don't know. So you're taking a look at the shelves. However, you do hear the very familiar chink of coins. And
No!
as you turn around, you do see Trent just kind of rummaging through and just chucking coins
What?
behind
Hey,
him.
what are you doing? What are you doing?
I can't see anything non-shiny in here. It's just gold after gold. Ah!
Oh my god, it's
I'm
super yellow
pouncing on the gold.
Okay, you start kind of scaring up the gold trend. You do come across, kind of nestled amongst the gold.
You my little legs wiggling on the back of
Yeah. You do find
Got something. Holding my breath.
a small rabbit fur pouch and
Full of shinies.
a silver symbol. Looks like some kind of sea creature.
Is it shiny?
It is shiny.
Great!
What?
So
Wait
you
a
find
minute, I'm going to try and catch it.
you're about to catch this.
I've got the rabbit. I've got a rabbit fur thing though. Ooh.
That looks soft.
This is super soft.
Lovely.
Yeah,
it's
Do I-
super soft,
Do I
quite
recognise the
soft.
symbol thing?
The symbol? Make a religion check for
She's more shiny. I'm looking in the rabbit fur.
It's an 8.
me. 8. It looks like some kind of sea creature. It's not anything that you're kind of aware of religion as. Nothing you can guess. No.
Hey, Toby, do you know what this is?
Number 2, make your religion check.
So I'm going to title in the group.
Hmm?
I only rolled a 3, so.
On your nature check. It's a bit hard to tell when there's no flash. Humanoid.
Plus jack of all trades. And 19.
You did that just on purpose.
I got a plus 1 for it.
Wait, what's your difference? Oh, it's the plus 1, okay.
It's plus 1.
From Jack's yes, this is vaguely familiar. This is vaguely familiar. The symbol is of a kraken.
Woo!
It's
Fuck,
yeah. Yeah, there is a kind of religion that's kind of been kind of spreading its way across from the Western Sea. Is it here? Well, yeah, it's kind of come from the west and it's kind of hitting a number of different coasts. It's not a good religion. It's associated with
Science.
yeah. It's associated with Dagon the Demon Lord, which a lot of kind of yep, exactly. Yeah.
Take on the demon lord.
It's actually late night talk show. Yeah, Dagon is a demon, but a very, very powerful one, kind of almost up there with the gods in terms of power levels, and is worshipped by creatures such as the Kraken, kind of sea hags, kind of creatures of the deep, dark deep. So, how you descended up here, whether it can pilfer from somebody going through. You're not really
So,
sure.
this
Is there
signal,
anything in the top?
No.
How much gold did I get?
You got 100 gold pieces.
I cast identify Kraken.
Sure, go for it. There's nothing magical about this. There's a faint kind of essence of magic in that kind of all holy symbols have been kind of touched or blessed in some way, but it's not particularly strong. It doesn't seem like it's been in use at any particular
That S is
reason.
like the evil god or something.
No, it feels fairly kind of like almost like sickening. Yeah, you kind of get this kind of bad taste at the back of your mouth, a bit like iron.
Sorry. I know it does smell. Stop rubbing it on.
There's certainly no current enchantment or something that somebody could use to track you or anything like that. It does just seem that it's a holy symbol that would have been used by a follower of Dagon at some point.
Whenever I've picked up the shinies from the trying to search for shelves.
Yes, you go back to the shelves. You see Hex just kind of staring, poking and putting his eyes through the eye holes. His fingers through the eye holes. He puts his eyes, he kind of holds them up. You kind of look through the shelves and such, and you don't really find anything else there.
Okay.
Yeah, you find a couple bowls and stuff.
Does anyone want a bowl?
No, thank you.
It is a large stone, crudely cut. Do you know what I mean? Like you could use it as a helmet, almost.
Or a sheet.
Or
Is that the familiar thing?
Wow, it's a spell. Well, I'm glad I've got what I wanted out of this place. Should we rest here for the night?
Sure.
I didn't know it until now. But
Is it approaching you?
It's like 3-4 o'clock. You've done about half a day's, just over half a day's travel by this point. So
yeah, but we could keep a short rest though. I don't know how much more of the mountain we have to do.
you
Yeah,
have
probably short rest in there.
2 to 3 days, depending. Maybe a little shorter, depending on how you feel.
Is there any food here?
There's no food here.
Did you say it was the second floors? They've taken out the floors, so they're just...
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks from the outside like it's a 2-3 story building, but as you're in, it's just a building.
There's no more
Oh, so
obvious
is this
cases.
actually like a
Doorways
proper
anywhere.
building?
It
Or it's
w-
just been,
One way
Yeah.
in, one way out. Say again?
is this actually a proper building that's just been like cleared out to fit a giant?
Yeah. Make a history check.
Yeah.
Natural 20. Yes. Yeah, this is your home. And you don't really know where you heard this. It's more something that you're kind of an architecture that you're picking up. It seems dwarvish in nature, and as you say this to Tobias, that this building looks almost faintly kind of dwarvish craftsmanship. Tobias does kind of remember kind of the stories of kind of an old dwarven kind of civilization that were housed in the Starspire, which some say still exists, but they're not really sure. There's not going to be any recent evidence of.
Knowing it's one nature car, look around the walls, specifically in the floor, to see if there's like anything that vault or chamber.
Yes, make an investigation check for me.
I know all this one to
That's quite far away.
Yeah, it's quite far away.
Because I'm small.
Not any more than you would have.
Like dwarves are small. Would I know?
What did you get though?
Your
That
hand.
19.
19. That's still very good. You kind of search around. It doesn't look like there's any kind of hidden things or that. You imagine that it does look like this is been completely smashed to bits at some point. Kind of around the walls, you do kind of see where the other floors would have been, but like it's kind of been very much kind of ripped to kind of its bare kind of bones almost.
Let's head on out. Are we just going to have a short rest? Just a short rest.
So, yeah. So, feel free to roll any hit dice. So you spend a couple, about 45 minutes an hour kind of resting, kind of taking some provisions from your pack, some water, kind of scraping some of the wounds that you got when you got blasted by rocks.
How long does polymorph last?
About an hour, yeah.
About an hour.
Let's go!
Yeah?
Yeah, probably.
Didn't we throw? We didn't throw the mouse over it.
No, he's probably transformed back, and he's either stuck under a rock or he's on his way back here.
Oh yeah, let's go. Let's get out of here now.
We all skate.
Can we keep an ear out for like stomping?
Mm-hmm.
You know, kind of-
He's going to
So annoyed at
I know,
Silly
right?
Rabbit for a pound.
Oh.
You know what? I'm pretty sure that he stole that from someone else. I think it's too small for a child.
I might be able to
We
find
do know
it.
words.
Well, you can hold on to it and keep an eye out.
I'll
for
keep
them.
an eye on it in case I see you here.
As you guys exit the top of the back out the doorway up to the top of the plateau, you make a perception check, Hex.
What?
You said you wanted to hear. That's high enough to you can hear the thump.
Let's go!
As you look kind of down the ravine, you do see him kind of where you left him, which was a bit kind of further back. You do see him kind of getting up, kind of big groggy. He's kind of currently he's just got to the fallen body of his comrade.
So, is there a way to run in the opposite direction, or to get away do we have to?
I have to go back down.
Let's go up the trade route. Wherever we can.
Yeah, so you've kind of come up the side of the ravine. You could kind of come, instead of coming back down this way, where he's likely to come up, you could come off the kind of the top of this way. No, the tradeway's on the bottom, so you could try and come off the top and kind of go that way instead.
So back on the tradeway, avoiding him.
Mm-hmm.
So try and do that.
Let's do that. Let's move at a speedy pace.
Okay, cool. As you get to the top, you do see kind of much on your way up. This is steep. In fact, this is kind of steeper than it was kind of on this side. So this is you have a choice. You can either make an athletics check with disadvantage to go fast. You can do it slower, but without disadvantage.
I'm going to go fast.
I'm going to put my shield in surf.
I'll find out.
Okay.
Can I use the
Wait, is it like scree? Or is it like boulders sticking up?
There's a lot of boulders. There's
I will not
possibly
do
if you're dexterous enough.
I pictured like a scree slope. Nah.
That's more on the other side. This one's got a bit more kind of
Then
boulders
I
and a
will
bit
not do that.
jumps and stuff.
I will hop. Like a mountain.
I'm gonna try and go fast.
Okay. Everyone who's doing it fast, make.
the rope work?
I really should not be doing this. I have -1 to athletics.
What would you be
I
wanting?
don't have minus anything.
To get, we're trying to go down.
Yeah. So, like,
attaching the rope to something and then
kind of, you
or
could
that
do
would
that.
take too long.
It would take just as
Disadvantage.
long as doing it slowly, I would say. Don't need to time it.
So you said disadvantage.
Disadvantage if you try to do it fast. Nah, 20 is disadvantage.
Oh.
So I think you
Wait,
can.
Athletics.
I rolled double 4.
Jesus.
9.
10 actually.
13.
Okay.
It doesn't get much. I mean,
14. And Gripbelt?
It's the one thing I'm supposed to be good at.
A what, sorry?
I rolled a 13 with disadvantage.
Okay, cool.
Uh,
So those who got 10 or lower,
Which one is my higher roll?
so you take 26 points of damage as you
Ooh.
tumble
Actually
head
dead.
over
It's
heels.
probably landing on you.
Did you just say you're dead?
Oh no,
I know.
right, if that's how much damage I was
Yeah.
taking, I kind of thought that you'd be taking more since you got a lower.
I only got 9. I was 9.
Yeah, so it was
Okay.
10 or lower. So you just, as you guys are kind of running down, you just see kind of flying past you, just the rolling form.
Wait, what
Kind
about
of like
horses?
26, did you say?
Oh yeah, where are our horses?
I presume you'd have left them at the bottom of the arena. So
Oh
it took
crap, we
them
have to go back to the horses anyway.
Did you say it was 26?
Wait, we left the horses with the giant?
well, there was a mouse at the time.
Yeah, but we wouldn't have left the horses when there's a giant about
And it was
to
too
here.
steep to take the horses up.
We've already left.
We need to go back, don't we?
And so you kind of tumble and you get to the bottom, yeah, as you get to the bottom, you kind of sprawled out and you guys kind of catch up after them.
Be
You go
careful.
Beat you.
lying there, kind of
I
dust
think we
head
need to
to
go
toe.
and we need to go and
You have so many stones in your shoes, they're never gonna come out. Like, yeah.
let's go get the
I
horses.
think my shoes might actually be ruined. They won't
Your
be roughly
Crocs.
stitched together.
Your Crocs. They are like, you can see little bits just kind of like flapping off.
Maybe
them.
it's time to let them go.
Yeah, like there's the crocodile ones.
This is the song. I need crocodiles to go.
Really, really
You
ugly.
should have made them with all
crocodiles.
supples.
Should have made them better.
It's
Right,
like what the
I'm
elves
gonna
do in
run back and get the
Dragon Age
horses. Hopefully the giant doesn't mind.
Okay.
When we fought the giant,
Yep.
were we on the horses when we got attacked?
Yeah, it was there.
Yep.
Okay, so I asked Mika, do I remember if the horses swooped and ran off, or do we keep them kind of tangled? Or
It wasn't mentioned, so I'm gonna say they would have. Yeah, they probably would have run off a little ways, but you could possibly track them back. They may not have gone too far
okay.
because it's not been too long.
This means it might not be needed.
I'm gonna go and get them.
As you kind of run back to the camp, so you've kind of gone down the tip and then kind of run back round, you can get there and you see just at the crest, you see the hill giants. You just reached the crest. And in one hand, you do see a horse.
Oh, he's got a horse, guys. He's got one of our horses.
Because it's a rampage.
You say that.
It is not a rampage.
Damn, that would have been so
Whose
good.
horse
Yeah.
Is it a big one or like a little one?
From this distance, it looks like one of the bigger ones.
What was
More
I?
More meat on the bones.
Do we want to go back and get it?
No.
I'm
Is
very
the
hurt
horse
right now.
alive?
Make a perception check.
Has the giant just fucked off?
He fucked off the horse.
I rolled a 16.
Trying to throw this horse man up his
The horse definitely does not look alive.
Oh,
Like,
well,
its
then
legs
maybe
look
it's
limp, it's not kind of making noise or anything.
How to get the rest of them?
You want to get the rest of your horses? Cool.
It's a rampage.
Cool. Between all of you, it takes maybe the next half an hour or so, you manage to find your horses, and there are remaining ones. So Sir Rampage didn't go too far, because it's Sir Rampage. And the small one that you're doing small dwarf one, yeah. Two larger,
One larger now.
one larger now.
Not the two larger.
Two.
Yes, yes.
I was
And
supposed to go in the heads.
yeah, you find them all. They're spooks, and you find them in various locations, but they didn't go too far. It being quite a harsh environment, and they can't really get up a lot of places. There's only one way to go. It looks like for now the hill giant's happy with the meal that he just got, which is all he was looking for in the first place. So, do you want
They
to?
actually lucked out. I mean, You're from the middle. My horse is much bigger.
Do you guys want to make your way on a couple
No, it's
miles
actually
before
okay. The horse
night?
wasn't alive.
Yeah.
He was just taking it to a farm that's up the mountains where a lot of horses
I
go
didn't-
to live after
It's
they're
quite
too
nice.
old to carry on working.
Oh, well, it was kind of kind then, really.
They get to relax and
I
just
suppose
eat
that's
grass.
Shall we
did we
make
miss that?
haste before it comes back to take the other horses to the
It's
farm?
a bit further up.
Yeah, let's go.
I've been missing everything today. My eyes are like
Yes.
bong eyes.
All
right now.
bong-eyed
Just-
heads. Swivel-eyed.
Maybe you
I'll
should
keep-
write
I'll
that
keep
thing,
an eye
James,
out.
I understand.
Okay. So you begin to make your way another couple hours. The sun there are a lot of kind of deep ravines you're going through, much like you were before, and you're kind of now keeping an eye out for these kind of piles of rocks and stuff. Now you do see some kind of stones littering the tradeways you're going through, but these seems like kind of past average sites. Like it doesn't look like there's any more movement. The sun's going down not any quicker than usual, but because of kind of this kind of range that you're in and you're really right at the bottom, the sun it's getting dark a lot quicker than it normally would. So after like another 3 hours of travel, you probably want to think about setting up camp.
I was going to say, as we've been walking, can I keep an eye out for somewhere suitable to camp out?
Cool. Yeah, you find a place. Kind of the good thing about these ravines is that kind of they are a bit more sheltered from the environment and the elements. So kind of you do hear the wind kind of whistling over the top of something, but kind of right down at the bottom, it's not kind of too bad. It's the warmth from the day is still kind of kept in these. There's not kind of much cover or anything, but yeah.
Let's head on to sleep.
Perfect. So anything
Let's
you wanna-
go!
Anything you want to do before you head to bed?
I want to look at the moon and see
How broken it is. Yeah.
I want to get Mr. Griffiths if he's not busy to help me learn now.
Cool.
I'm just
that's
gonna
what you were doing
collapse
last
because I'm in a lot of pain.
Oh yeah, no, sorry, no. I remember because
No,
Griffiths
yeah,
doesn't
you
speak
asked me.
Elvish.
I was
Yes,
going
you
to
do.
come up to him like, yeah, you asked me yesterday. I actually do speak English.
Oh, sorry.
Maybe one day I'll learn, and then I'll teach you maybe
Oh, could you teach me?
Right, I know some, but not much. I know, hi, my name is Trent. How are
We
you?
do that in Elvish.
No. I just know that.
So you kind of rest for the evening. You kind of having your discussions regarding Elvish. You have a look at your gun, Gritwald. It's not the most broken you've ever seen. You're not going to need.
Are you sure I'll have the natural water?
Yeah, you did.
you did.
Yeah, because remember you were like,
Yeah. You
I rolled that one shot, and then I rolled that one on the to try and fix it with it.
Yeah. You look at it. You're not going to be able to fix this on the road, but it's not. You just need kind of basic blacksmith tools, and you will be able to get this resolved with a bunch of money to fix the components with the damage. So you'll be able to fix this, but certainly not on the road. So you rest up for the evening. You wake up the next morning feeling a little worse for wear, a bit bashed and bruised, especially you two.
I feel fine.
Can we be
I feel great.
You will say again.
We recover our health.
You do recover your health. Any spell slots that were expended previously for spells. And you are now kind of about a day, maybe not quite as far as you were hoping to get through today. You've got around between 1 to 3 days left, kind of depending.
Let's go.
for 5 damage.
As Hex is there, kind of stroking his weapon with his own blood, nothing incantations, doing Pilates.
Doing my hair. It takes a while to braid.
Any luck with the guns to get involved?
the last.
If you want, I can try and hit it with my Morning Star.
Maybe like when it's broken half.
Right, okay.
I can see if my magic can help it, right? I can see if my magic can help. Wait, doesn't Luma know mental?
Wait,
Mending?
can't Luma do mending?
Which one?
Thank God. Unlimited mending.
These old buildings have a bit of an echo, don't they?
Luma can do mending. Mending. Yeah.
Cantrip.
Yeah.
What's a cantrip?
Mending is used for kind of resealing kind of tears in clothes or basic kind of wooden stuff.
Also, Luma doesn't want to help because you're not
Yeah, it's not going to be able to kind of give the finesse required or the kind of yeah. It's not going to. Cool. So.
Hi!
Hello.
Why are you merging?
Oops. I like your band. What? So you've got a day ahead of you.
Whoa! Oh my god!
What?
Door closed by itself.
Who wants to make a survival check for the day?
I would.
I will.
No.
Cool. Make a survival check, and because you have the map, you have the advantage on this, I believe.
Ooh.
You have the map from Drago.
I do.
Sorry about that.
Or the party does.
Wow. That was good. A 15 or 19. 22.
22. Okay. You get through the next day following. This is a rough map. This is kind of third hand from Dragar. Dragar had never been. It was a place that he was going to investigate for the kind of heart of the treant that he was looking for.
You remember Friend the Tree?
Yeah.
I remember the floor of the tavern.
Yeah.
The horses, yeah. The bars.
I turned into a bear. It was very impressive.
Mm.
And you turned into a white bear. It was weird.
So yeah, you spend the next day making your way best along it. There are a lot of places where you could see people could get lost. Like this is whilst it's the tradeway, this is not the most well-traveled route. What tends to happen is either when you get to Memnon or Zedesper, you take a boat around the coast and you'll stop off in like Baldur's Gate or Summercrest. You stop at these places via boat. This portion of the tradeway.
I'm really not confused, to be perfect honest. We just find out. No, you just
We were
found
just
out
like,
about-
straight there, la 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 la.
as the crow flies.
Get it Land Rover.
It
Well,
was.
I said several times. Let's take the boat. Let's take the
It
boat.
was.
I do regret not taking a boat. It
Lost
seems like it
couple
would
of
have been easy.
times.
Okay, I mean, my senses just don't work. So.
Yeah.
What? What?
Which is nasty rough.
Yeah.
What are you saying?
Yes. So you could see people could get lost, but between the map and the good roll, certainly this day, you
I'm actually reading it upside down, but it's working better.
yeah. As you get to towards the end of the day and the sun's starting to go down, you come across a small kind of old campfire. That's possibly the place to rest. Go for it. Make a perception check.
What place is still in the ravine?
Just to see if there's anyone like hiding in
Similar. It's not quite as deep as this. And what are you looking for?
Just if there's any movement around or if this looks like it's been set up to trap people.
Okay.
Like, so if we sit down and get camp,
Yeah.
is there going to be some twat bag waiting to ambush us?
So with a 15, it is maybe within the last 4 days or so. Was when it was initially set up. And then when kind of further investigation, kind of poking the fire, it's got a warmth that maybe leads it to be maybe like a day or so. It looks like this has been used multiple times in the last week. Surprisingly few footprints. In fact, if you only find 2 sets, seem to be on different occasions.
Like, they're not giant.
No, they seem. You do see 2 horses as well. Kind of.
Feet.
Or
Two
hooves.
prints.
Yeah, just 2. Yeah. Just single.
Just walking on
2
the street,
tracks.
walking his hand.
2 tracks. Yeah, it seems that this was used kind of initially set up about 4 days ago. On your kind of perception roll, Gripvold, you do come across. There was. It looks kind of between the 2 of you. You figure that this was used to camp about 4 days ago. But further out from the camp, it seems is where they actually slept. It seems like they set up the camp here, but then slept away from it for whatever reason. And then the second night that it's been stayed at recently, kind of within the last day or so, they've just slept in the camp as a normal person would.
And this is just in a shallow ravine now.
Yeah, it's not nearly as deep as you were before. It's starting to get a bit more forest area, but you're not
so there are
quite in the
trees then.
forest. Yeah, so there are trees kind of dotted about, and you kind of gradually going into kind of a more foresty area.
Can I have a look around the second campsite?
Yes. I'm with a natural 20. It seems that this was just used for actually make an investigation check for me. Yeah, I mean, you could see that somebody stayed here, but you don't know why, the size of them. It could have been an elephant, it could have been a
Can
mouse.
I go up to one of the trees, cast speak with plants,
Mm-hmm.
say, anything interesting happened around here recently?
Okay, so the trees is actually up by where that second camp is. I'm just going to get these up to see if I can get the response. I feel like it's
Well,
super good. Good.
I'm not seeing anything suspicious about the second camp, but I've got no reason to think about why there's 2 camps. Just maybe we should have some watch.
I'm speaking to my friends here, Gripvold.
I'll keep a watch.
So you can question it about events that have happened within there in the last day. Which is the past weather. So you ask about who's going to say next. Traveler, alone, down by the fire. Very hurried.
There were 2 horses. Did anyone else come back?
Only 1 horse. Only 1 horse in the last day.
Say, there was only 1 horse.
Which way did it go? We've seen prints of 2, right? So,
Yeah. What way did they go?
North.
that's not Summercrest.
Yeah.
That's where Summercrest.
Were they good looking silvers?
What?
Did they have nice bark?
They had no bark.
Did they have good lips?
What?
Thank you.
It's like talking to a magic 8-ball. Try again.
That's fireball. I don't know.
It's fun things,
Like every one of those, but the last one we do, I'm going to like a tears and like Toby's mum.
Cool.
Okay, so in the last day there was one guy rushing away from us.
With a horse.
We stayed at the campfire. And then
Wait,
earlier, one person
wait,
stayed
guys.
further away.
Do you remember that time we were in the inn, like yesterday? and we heard like someone running through the stables.
Oh yeah.
Do you think like they were running to tell your family they're coming, so they know like to
Maybe.
welcome?
That
you
would
to the
be
party?
such a crazy coincidence. No way.
Do you think like
The world is not that small, guys.
We're
No, but I
heading
mean,
in the exact same
it's-
direction.
it's only saying one? Yeah, and I mean not many people come this way
Let's
because
just
So
see someone
surely
else is
he'd be
stupid
smart
enough
and
not
go
to.
by boat. That seems to be the intelligent thing to do.
yeah, but they were near the boats. I think from where they were, it would have been faster to do the trip right there. So maybe they saw us. Were like, gracious me, I don't think that group of troubadours are actually who they are, and they money and family.
The queer leaders, yeah.
Yeah, the clearly is, yeah. Yeah.
But our disguise was flawless.
I thought so. Yeah, especially ours. So,
Yeah.
Luna does kind of pipe up and mention that, yeah, she heard them going, she was quite concerned, and also that Train wasn't, Toby was not disguised originally.
Oh dear.
So, you want to rest up for the night?
Maybe running off to maybe set up an ambush so they can get the bounty on you if they recognise you.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, my wonderful bounty hunters better protect their investment.
Well, so what should we do? Should we stay here? Should we hurry on?
No,
Yeah,
let's
stay.
we should sleep
Should we
here.
disguise ourselves?
I think we should.
Alternate with people keeping an eye out during the night.
Should we do what the other person did and sleep away from the fire in case it attracts?
Yeah.
Moths.
Maybe have two people on watch each time.
Oh, it's because I needed this room.
So, okay, so you set up camp for the night, two on watch. Somebody make a perception check.
No.
Or, I will allow two, one for each watch.
I'll do it.
Her. 16.
And then
I have not plus anything.
Still, that's a full 16. Same. Perception then. 18. Aw.
There doesn't appear to be anyone following you, setting up ambush, anything like that. The night goes by fairly uneventfully, you'll get your full night's rest. You do notice that against one of the trees that you're kind of resting on for the night, as you you're kind of laying back. You kind of
Skin patch.
take up your hand, and it appears to be covered in this kind of white sticky substance. White stringy substance.
Stringy.
Do I know what that
Wait. During the night, we
Two checks.
No, we both feel this. You said we
I would happen to sleep in the same tree.
A nature check. 19.
It appears to be some webbing of some kind.
Oh no. Toby gets up and he's like, guys, there's trouble. There's big trouble.
What?
Wake up.
What?
Yeah, we're all in trouble. We should probably leave here right now.
What? Why? Is it the hat? What the?
The hags. The hags are following us. Come on,
Wait,
let's
what?
go.
Whoa!
What?
Up, you're up. Mr. Grimfeld.
hello.
There's a
Right
hag
to leave.
by the tree.
Okay.
There's
Wait, how
hags.
do we know the hags are here?
Lord Tobias said so. Let's go.
Yeah,
How do you know the hags are here?
I heard them cackling.
Well, so you heard cackling and you assumed it was the hags.
Can we
You
do
woke
this
me up for
It
this!
could only possibly ever be the hags.
I am going back to bed.
Make a deception check.
What are you going to do with
Well, that's a 9. Wait. 18.
Unless any of you are particularly suspicious of Dead Galley, you
The hags are coming. Let's get out of here. Quick, fast.
What? No, we're not moving just because Toby heard some
Do I
cackling.
control my evolutions?
No, you're rolling randomly.
Yeah, you got them right.
I am going
Why
to.
would you not want to leave? If the hags are here.
But they're not here. here. Toby just heard cackling.
Look, I know you're feeling haggard, but we have to go.
Not first thing in the morning. I haven't even had my full sleep yet. No.
Well, breakfast. You two.
Midnight snack.
That's so nice.
Is it in the middle of the night?
No, this is towards the end of the night. You're
Right.
walking
We
across
could have a 3 a.m. snack.
Not with the hags following us.
Well,
Okay.
while we're running, there's time for eating while we're running.
We've got horses! Yeah, let's go!
Monster rampage.
Shall we go?
Oh, fine, whatever.
Okay.
Mr. Grimwald, you coming?
You
Gritty!
Hello?
Are you coming?
Yes, I was reading notes.
Okay.
Cool. As you begin to set off on your third day, I would like somebody to make a survival check with advantage.
I believe you tried.
I'm gonna be half snoozing on my pony, so
Okay.
no.
Should we tie it to one of the others?
Snoozing on a pony is a little indie fan.
What?
That was cocked. I got an 18.
As you travel through this day, you go past and kind of round Mount Aldir, the kind of large mountain, and you know from the map here that it's not much further north until you get to Summercrest. You do see there's a kind of path leading up to the mountain, but the tradeway just continues north.
Not one now, Lord Wax. We'll be in your home and your family will be there. We can have loads of food, and you know it'd be great to reunite them, and there'll be meals and food.
And you're trying very uncomfortable.
Tell me more stories about something.
So are we going to get to Summercrest by the end of this day?
With this rate, it looks like you'll get there just as kind of the sun is setting
Don't worry, Lord.
into the evening.
Mr. Grimwald, I've got Sir Rampage read the map for us.
So now that we've had our second breakfast, I'm feeling a bit more awake. Should we disguise ourselves in any way before we go in? Or the slew leaders?
Oh, maybe we need to do it.
I don't know. This is why I'm asking.
I don't want to go back home for the first time in 2 years.
What about
So,
Grandpa?
We should.
I don't care.
Were we not doing something like
What was that, Mr. Grimwald? Sorry?
I already look quite different. Actually, I'll be making
What?
Since you set off from where? Mithraelis?
Yeah, from the winter.
From Zesper?
Yeah,
It's been. This will be the end of your third day.
okay, that's right.
you have a Gandalf
That
deal?
will be
Yeah, you.
No, I think Mr. Grimwald, it looks unrecognizable with this. I barely. When I woke up this morning, I didn't know who it was.
It just grew so quick. I just.
I don't know.
Do you want to go and try, Mr.
It depends on what we're doing. If we're gonna do Toby first, or
I don't think disguising is the best. I've shaved, but obviously I don't think going in an active disguise is going to help.
Okay.
So are we going to pretend to be bounty hunters coming to collect the reward for Toby?
Yeah, we could do that, but I mean, if I go in disguise, then
but I just think people would know.
this guy.
Would people not recognise you if you didn't?
That won't go down too well.
I think there's two very separate classes of people who are after us. I think if anyone's after me, they're going to be a bit more for ideas.
Unless those wanted posters are literally everywhere.
So, I was looking at my face plastered everywhere.
I don't want to wear disguise.
Okay, Mr. Grimwald. That's okay.
But are we going to pretend to be bounty hunters?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and you were the. I can't remember what your name was, but you were the leader.
So we're gonna check.
I was the spokesperson. I don't think I had a fake name.
Yeah, I didn't have any
I think I need to come up with a new
Is this for
fake
the
name.
sneer leader?
You could use one of yours.
Well, we're just going to check. No, we weren't, were we?
we weren't serving the
We
cha-cha.
could be.
That we were serving the cha-cha for the queer leaders.
That's true.
I disguised myself as you for that.
You did.
Oh yeah.
Sweet.
I like
Yeah.
Okay, so remember, we're bounty hunters called Sneer Leaders, and we're here to collect the reward for Toby.
Okay. We get a bit frothing, so I think I have rabies.
Remember to leave the talking to me, Fred.
Right, yes, talking to you, I'll just growl and spit. But I won't spit.
Please don't. I'll be inheriting myself.
I'll just growl.
So, as you travel on the third day, and you get kind of past the mountain until the Mount Daldir, it's kind of behind you, and the kind of sun's just on this side of you. It's getting quite late, so the sun's kind of really getting to the point where what you would call golden hour.
So we're approaching from the
I
west.
got it.
right?
Golden showers.
You're approaching from the south.
Oh, okay, okay. Right.
It's from what you know, Summercrest is built
To the
into
south.
to this kind of this base like this, and it's built onto the
Okay,
south
yeah.
part of it. Yeah. So it's kind of a natural kind of harbor. As you kind of begin to exit the mountains, now it's not there's not miles and miles before the sea. You do start to see the sea, and kind of smell the salt kind of air that's kind of washing off the smell that you're very used to. The kind of path leads out, and you start to see in the distance, on kind of a separate kind of island almost to itself, it's the kind of glittering peaks of Summercrest Hall. Tall, thin spires, and as you get closer, as you crest the ridge to Summercrest itself, you see below you a medium-sized town, kind of a natural kind of curved harbour, docks all the way around this here, kind of a number of different vessels, kind of big and small, trading vessels and fishing vessels, and one really large ship which you can just see the kind of glinting gold of a masthead in front. And then kind of below you just see this kind of bustling kind of city. Kind of on one half of the city it seems to be a more residential area. Kind of at this time you can see kind of little plumes of smoke coming from most of the houses here. Kind of fireplaces kind of coming on, lamps being lit. And on the left, the kind of western side of the city, it looks more kind of different kinds of buildings. Perhaps more kind of warehouses and stuff, a marketplace down by the docks. And then right as you kind of crest, there's kind of a path that leads down into the city, and along this kind of steep cliff edge, this natural cliff, you do see a number of kind of more grand houses built into the side of this kind of this natural cliff here. And as the path kind of goes down into the city, you see one that kind of leads up and off, and it leads up kind of out of the city, and there's maybe half a mile or so of kind of greenery until you get to this thin, naturally occurring bridge, this piece of stone which goes out to this island, and on that island lies Summercrest Hall, or Summercrest Keep.
That's my house, guys. The island thing.
A large white and almost black castle. Really quite thin towers. You see a number of banners kind of fluttering in the wind from this distance. You see on this bridge leading over to the keep, there is a large wall with a number of fires that you can see, so kind of torches, and you can just kind of see them moving.
Was that on the whole city or just on the bridge?
Just on the bridge, it seems to be kind of almost protecting the castle from the rest. You'd have to very much go through this kind of the
But the
wall.
big walls around the rest of the city.
No, it's literally just so across this kind of bridge across this island where the city is. Across this thin bridge is the wall. It doesn't go around the city. It's just kind of there.
Right. Okay.
You would know that this wall did not exist 3 years ago.
Renovated since I've left.
So, where do people generally go here to collect bounties? Do you know?
East side, west side.
Probably your best place to start is either the town square or possibly there's kind of two main inns. The one you'd be looking for is probably the one that's in the trade district. With,
You know the jail or guardhouse?
the jailer guardhouse is up by the castle. It's kind of all that kind of stuff's kept up there. I'm so sorry, I didn't have this map on my table. The place you're looking for, the inn by the docks, is called the Pilgrim Inn, and it's down on the kind of the trade district, down by the harbour, like right on the kind of harbour edge.
One of my old party prices.
That is exactly your old party place. That is where you learned a lot of tricks. That's where you met, who, and that's if you want to find out kind of information, there would be a start, or perhaps the town square.
I think we should go to the Pilgrim Inn.
You think that that's the place to go for collecting bounties and in?
Let's go for everything, Bree.
Okay, sure.
Do you want to kind of the path that kind of leads down and up is kind of like this V like this. It kind of meets in the town square and then leads off down into the kind of city proper, into the trade district and down to the harbour. Do you just want to take kind of the main road down?
Yeah.
Okay. As you make your way down and through the houses that are kind of a bit more familiar to you, and
Are we in Summercrest now?
you're in Summercrest.
I'm like, this is that building over there, that's what that is. Over there, this is my place, guys. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Is his face plastered all over the walls?
Make a perception check.
Yes! An unnatural 20.
Cool. So as you are just approaching the edge of the town square, you do see down one of the alleyways a number of white posters, kind of faded white, which look very much like the poster that Bree has in her bag. And as you get to the edge of this town square, you see, even though it's at this point approaching dark, you see a large kind of ring of people around the square. Guards, kind of head to toe adorned, kind of silver, kind of plate armor, spears here, shields emblazoned with a flaming sword with kind of weights on either side of its pommel. Kind of there, spear here, and one man, as you kind of enter the town square, one man standing kind of out with the guards. And he bows to you. Lord Tobias, you make your return.
You know me. I don't like to be too flashy.
Yes. If we know anything, we know that this is not true, don't we? If you'd like to follow me, please.
Can I bring my friends?
Of course. And he points into the large cathedral that's kind of right on the edge of the town square. Give me 2 seconds.
I need the toilet too.
Probably a good time to.
Can I pee through your legs, Cal?
If I get a break then.
I'm putting the kettle on if anyone wants something.
Oh,
Love a coffee.
Thank you.
Alright. Just assume they'd be everywhere. All the people are unicorns.
Everyone wears a unicorn mask. They're just like horsemen.
Yeah.
More water. You want more water?
You too much put the kettle on as well. Hello.
So far, so good. Is that how you remember Tobias?
Perfect.
Should I have some cake before that?
Some cake.
Cake.
Is I'm guessing Sarah's working tomorrow, so.
Right.
It's an easy welcome back.
Yeah.
Did you guys get the notification you normally get when I go live?
I didn't. I was going to mention that, but I just assumed that you might have turned it on.
I haven't had it once a week, so.
I didn't get it last week, but it recorded most of it.
The sound decent though. Last week and the week before.
I just have a sound.
No. On the recording of the.
That didn't help. Oh, he didn't say that. That didn't really help. Oh, I haven't got that. I'm absolutely wrong. Well, had you hit the bell icon on Cal's channel?
I used to get them. I was just saying.
I know, but they might have changed it. They might have taken it off or something. I don't know. Because I hadn't had it.
Cal tipped his YouTube
Yeah.
Oh,
subscription.
Could so I think it's live. It says that it's live right now.
Is this episode called? That's last week's.
21.
Yeah, I'm not. For some reason, I didn't have the little bell there.
It says one watching, but that's going to be me.
It's not live on my
really.
screen.
Is
I
it?
don't see it on your
It's
YouTube.
privacy public. Did that link work?
Send me to YouTube Gaming. It's not website.
Yeah, it's a thing.
And then I click the videos and I've never been on YouTube Gaming. maybe why we didn't get the Kinect, why we didn't get the game.
The test was spoiled if anyone wants a hot drink.
Yes, please.
Is that? Would you mind if I stole some bread? Some butter?
Go for it.
Go for it. I think we need to use up hot drink soon anyway.
Some people wake up and feel like $1,000,000. I wake up feeling like insufficient funds.
Share my streaming link. Share.
Oh, it's a catwalk.
Yep.
Yeah, wait. Oh, so is it only if you have YouTube Gaming?
Oh, it's a catwalk.
Yeah, wait. Oh, so is it only if you have YouTube Gaming? I don't know if this is the same one. I think that is the same one. Yeah, wait. Oh, so is it only if you have YouTube Gaming? I don't know if this is the same one. I think that is the same one. Yeah, wait. Oh, so is it only if you have YouTube
It's very close.
I'm really confused. Yeah.
You look at it from my side.
I've got this video is on
Yeah.
I'm really confused.
I just clicked on watch it on YouTube Gaming.
Yeah, that's what I did. So.
Yeah. And you get that. Which means I should just unavailable.
So weird.
Yeah.
Well,
It's already using my YouTube account, so I don't know.
yeah, I tested it earlier and it did save it after the stream was over.
Right. Is it just how you do live streaming on YouTube? It's just
how I've always done it.
YouTube Gaming. Yes.
Oh no,
It's just not been aware of that being a thing.
I've just got it under category gaming, but I didn't. That's what I've always had it under.
Yeah.
Oh, 2 people watching. Unless that was me on my second stream that I opened.
Yeah, me.
It's me. Okay, never mind.
Yay, we have a fan.
It's me.
I have a fan too.
We will.
It doesn't sound like it's working.
We will just leave it because we will be able to. It should. I did a test one earlier, and
Does it just upload it after?
uploads it after. Yeah. Well, it thinks it's live right now. I just can't get the correct link to share it. I'll test it later. I'll test it another time. But the good thing is that it's streaming, and the channel's got it streaming, and therefore it should have no problem.
Okay, so now available.
Exactly. Yeah. But
Okay, that's good.
Oh, wow, we've got a fallen candle there.
No,
It's bothering me.
was where? Fallen candle, which represents. Yeah.
Oh,
Sure.
Death, Samuel Jackson.
Guy Rathis, alright.
Attending.
Yeah, same thing.
Right. Are you guys ready?
No. At least you're going to be for Clay Raptors and voice by Samuel Jackson.
Yeah. You embrace your destiny, motherfucker.
You're my champion, bitch.
Come on, can you speak it, motherfucker?
So,
I am ready.
I'm still not over that.
I did all this in my head. Very nice. So, as you walk into the square proper, you now see behind you, out of kind of the alleys in the dark, the another kind of group of guards kind of come up behind you. So they're now kind of lining the square. And as you follow the...
Do I recognise that insignia?
You do recognise it? It's not what you've seen often though. Make a religion check. It's something to do with the building you're about to go into. You're not really sure. You don't really go to church very often.
You know
Why
how
it doesn't automatically.
you know how you said burning sword, weights in your side. When you say weights, do you mean like dumbbells?
Balance.
I think it's supposed to be like a scale.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ah, scale.
Yeah.
Right.
That looks creepily like the temple insignia from Dragon Age. Just saying.
So,
Templars!
How far into the game did you get with that
I
I
held
thought I might
myself
as well
back.
incorporate
There
them.
were like
That's fine.
5 tracks in a row and I couldn't say anything.
So as you follow this gentleman into this large 3-story tall structure, very dark, dark stone quarries, you would recognise that half of the city is built from this. It's quite an exquisite stone that is built from the Star Spire Mountains, and it is quite. It's quite intimidating. It's quite jagged and spiky. And you see on either side of this kind of main structure there appears to be 2 newer kind of partially kind of constructed kind of additions to this.
Gosh, this is a bit much, isn't it?
And as the 2 large doors at the entrance to the central structure kind of open, you're led into a darkly lit kind of long chamber, similar to an almost less grand version of the entrance hall to the hidden library in the city, the hidden city. Kind of a long, kind of thin hallway, and kind of at the top of this there seems to be a big statue, and there are kind of seats and kind of pews and stuff. But this kind of entryway that you first come in is kind of bare, and there's kind of passage left to right and to your right, or kind of doorways to your left and your right.
What's the statue?
Religion check.
I am bad at these. Oh wow. 17.
Okay. The statue appears to be of a man holding a sword, much like the one that you saw at the start of the thing.
The one.
Sorry, that's on the insignia.
Oh, okay. Flaming. Is the man flaming or is the sword flaming?
The sword isn't flaming.
The man is
just
also
the
flaming.
Exactly.
Hey!
No, it's not that. It's just this one.
Oh, Jesus.
That's always gonna start. Flaming man. In marble.
Oh, sorry, no. This central statue is a man holding weights, or scales. He has a stern expression on his face, and you would know him to be the kind of visual representation of the god Tyr, Tyr,
Tyr. What's he the god of?
Tyr is the god of law and justice. He is one of the 3 gods of the triad.
The 3 main gods that were That's fine, it's Chinese music playing out there.
Yeah, we're going to be trying by the trial.
I told you, it was Chinese. I thought you'd all whitewashed.
You know it's white.
You showed us a picture. Is that not you?
Congratulations on seeing this.
That's my eyes. I have no idea what's going on.
Okay, so Tyre, the god of law and justice.
Tyre, the law of God and justice.
So, law of god and justice.
The-
Is he associated with swords?
sorry, he's got 2 scales. not the
I know,
sword.
but is he, like, do I think, when I associate them with people's swords?
The other 2 members of the triad would be associated with, I can't quite recall their names as of yet, or the gentleman in front of you. You would know. You don't know enough to know insignias and such, but you know enough that the 3 main gods here are Tur, Torm, and Ilmater.
To the Torm.
Torm, Torm, and Ilmater.
Term and Ilmater.
Yeah.
The thing I noticed was in the summary of Summercrest.
No. Okay, and what?
The guidebook. The tourist guide.
Now, the gentleman in front of you signals you to go into one of these kind of side passages.
Sorry, so I'm going to your name. I don't think we've met, have we?
He doesn't turn around. He just kind of motions. Do you follow or do you
I
stop?
follow.
I'm just gonna sidle up to Toby and say, and just whisper to him or say very quietly, is this all normal? Like,
I've never been arrested before and not just been taken directly to my father, so...
Maybe your father's in church.
I mean, they aren't going to give us the reward, but
Just ask him.
Isn't this experience rewarding itself? We get all his friends, not captains.
So as we follow the
he's
gentleman,
befriended his captors because
Yeah, I
he's
should
a friendly
stress.
and charming person like Caesar.
I should stress that these are technically my captors and friends. I would like them rewarded and beheaded.
as you
More rewarding.
as you follow into the right section of the you are greeted with a much more kind of, where the initial building is quite grand and spacious and there's an air of awe to it almost. It being 3 stories tall but not having kind of floors, it's just 3 stories tall. It's a very large building. The one over is a lot more drab. It's a lot newer, partially constructed to a degree. It's kind of got 4 walls and a roof, but just kind of like barely. The walls are very bare. There's just one statue in the center of this room, and he is just kind of a man standing there, his hands out like this, kind of surrounded in flame, and just this kind of pained expression on his face. And the person at the front turns around to you.
I'm sorry, am I going to have to do a walk of atonement? Naked.
You're waiting for an
Fucking love it.
excuse to use that app.
You know, it's not the first time I've had a good reason to use it.
Did you just say there was a guy on fire?
It's a statue.
Alright.
He looks like he's having a good time.
Yeah, this seems like a lot of fun.
Is
What's
he
going
Thor
on?
or ignited Torm? Is he
The figure turns around now, and the guards stop, kind of placing their spears quite forcefully on the ground whenever he stops. And the figure turns around to you. You see now the person in front of you is male, human, quite an angular face, straight silver hair, kind of deep brown eyes. At his side, he is wearing kind of a shield a sword, and on his back you see a shield. But they look very much ceremonial. And he turns to you and says, "Lord Tobias, you have returned to Summercrest with your associates, captains."
We serve many functions really. We were here for the board and this. Thought we could turn him safely.
Return him safely.
Well, as you can see, he's quite safe and unharmed. We've protected him on the journey.
That's...
You've done well.
You've done well.
They've done well. I mean, I've done great, but they've done okay. I've largely been the greater support to them through this experience.
Reports of you travelling with a party have come back to the city.
Captains.
We know who you are, and that you have been venturing for some time now. Months, perhaps. We first heard stories of you in your usual fashion, tearing up an inn in a place north of Calimport in the desert.
Yeah, we were attacked.
Yeah, that was attacked.
Yes, it would be the men that we sent to retrieve you.
Oh,
Well, they were very violent about
They
it.
were very.
I know, I would really like to make a complaint if possible.
We were good.
There have been many complaints made, most of them against you.
Yeah, but that's what I believe.
Are you ready to face your actions? Are you ready to face the consequences of what you've done to the city of Summercrest?
That's what I was going to ask. What's he done?
You do not know.
He
You do not,
doesn't seem to know, so why would we?
you do not know the actions of the person that you claim to be friends with.
Well, captors. I have only said captors thus far. Do you have a list of my crime taxes? Could you pretending?
The man clicks, and the guards part, and somebody kind of runs before he
I wouldn't want to be here right now. This is my worst nightmare.
presents the man with a scroll. And the man kind of undoes it. Says, "Lord Tobias Fairmount, you are charged with gambling and sending your debts back to this city, using your family name to cheat, swindle, blag your way through every situation you came across throughout Tether and as you ventured south through Calimshan and all the way to the southern part of this continent, Calimport itself. You left this city almost 3 years ago, and you sent back thousands and thousands of gold in debt. More than your father could pay. Now at first your father, being the just man that he is, paid them, of course. They were small. 10 gold here, 20 gold there.
Do you have an explanation of that? I don't know what I paid for it was only 10 gold.
But as the bills kept coming from further and further afield, bringing with them shadier and shadier folk, Garland had to raise
3 years.
Garland had to raise taxes to keep the family afloat. But then, little by little, he wasn't able to pay the outrageous charges some of the debt collectors were making. The further the debt collectors had to travel, the more they saw the wealth of our fair city. And instead of all our hard-earned money from our trade, from our mines, from our goods, instead of them going to us, to what has always been a fair, good, just, free and rich city, they were going halfway around the world to pay off the debts of a young, foolish, arrogant lord.
You forgot Hanson.
Lord Tobias, you are accused with murdering tens of children, hundreds of adults that starved through a winter 2 winters ago, until we decided enough was enough. We would no longer pay the debts. And there would be a change of management within this city.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Council of the Triad rule here. With religion, with law and justice, duty, order, and of course, penance. We can turn this fair city back into the prosperous town that it once was. No longer at the beck and whim.
What did you do? You could take that amount of money to bankrupt an entire noble family in 6
You've
months.
met me, haven't you, Bree?
Did you really it's great. Straight news off. You didn't get this.
Do you accept the charges that have been made against you?
Where am I found?
That is not the question you asked.
I think that he kind of has the right to know where his family is. Though.
I think those children have the right to be alive, to have breath in their lungs.
Yeah, but we can't actually do that. We can't give them back their lives. Whereas you could tell him where his family was.
I could. Information shall be given to those worthy in due course.
Could I ask? Yeah, it sounds really worthy. And then I haven't killed any children.
That is cool, yes.
Just stares at
The information should be free to everyone, not for those who are worthy.
I accept any punishment.
Whoa, don't say any punishment.
He clicks his fingers, and a group of guards come forward, taking you one on each arm, and not roughly escorting you, but kind of taking you forth from the room.
Request a file by compact.
I'll follow.
I'm gonna follow as well. I've
You-
seen what happened to criminals in Luskin, and it's not pretty.
As you attempt to follow, as the guards kind of go back out the way you came, and as the guards go out the way that you came, the circle of guards that have followed you kind of close ranks. So that they're moving
I'm trying to actually.
Can I still see Train?
You will have access to.
No, I'm asking. Can I
Oh, right.
see Train?
Oh. Wait, if you look over your shoulder, yes, you'll be able to see.
On my arms free.
You'd have to roll very high, but you can test to do it if you wish. Test the spell of some sort.
I want to cast medicine.
Roll a
Is that some
sleight of.
Some spells you don't actually need to
I need to point.
But you could be like,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna pretend to like sneeze. And then just.
point with your nose.
Yeah.
That's specific.
Trying to point with an errant hair.
Just flick your hair in that area. With a foot. You could point with a foot.
Verbal, material, and somatic. So I want you to make a sleight of hand check with disadvantage because you have somebody literally holding your hands.
Like money, no money is. Oh shit, that's a 17.
Yeah.
Did you say disadvantage?
Of course I did.
And a 7. Wait, it's sleight of hand, you said?
Yeah.
A 12.
Okay. What message do you want to say?
I got this.
Okay. He's got this, I mean, Mr. Goodley.
Can I go back to the guy that was talking to us originally?
Please don't let Grimble do any talking.
Is that the mission?
Go like Grimble!
I turned to my guard and said, see the orc, I don't know him, I know him in the lead.
So you get led out further, kind of back into the main portion, and then further into the complex. And
What will, I'm sorry, as he's kind of moving away, I turn to him and say, what will happen to him?
he will be taken to stay in our dungeons before he will face his charges and face his punishment at dawn on the beach.
May we be present for that?
He will be present for this.
What's involved in the punishment?
The punishment, as dictated by this fair city for many hundreds of years, is that you shall be buried in sand up to the neck and left for the water to wash away your sins.
Yeah, but when they're washed away the sins, we can take him, right? He can just come back with us.
You may retrieve his body, yes.
And can I wear the cloak of the mantle?
Well,
Blah blah. Oh no, wait, no, you still can't. You can't breathe water. You can just
Can
swim.
I ask the guy with the back?
No, you know when you pull
you
it
can
up.
breathe
Oh,
underwater
okay,
as long
there
as
we
the hood's up.
Nice.
You can breathe underwater.
Sorry, Darren? Sorry,
Does
Griffith?
the back? I want to ask the guy. Does the bounty still apply?
I just want to get that
Oh,
money.
really?
The bounty does not apply, as you brought him not out of a desire for money,
Oh, we very much have a desire for money.
but you're rather his friend.
That's not for you to decide.
What is for me to decide is your fate, Gritwald. You too are faced with some charges.
Law and order.
Why did we come here?
Chun chun.
We had an emissary arrive from Daramar, but 5 days ago.
Oh, wow. They were really ahead of us.
They were a bit slow. They're like,
I think that's when they were supposed to get there. Is that not how many days were traveling?
Oh, yeah.
We have heard of your crimes in the city of Daramar against 2 innocent civilians, and we have been told to hold your trial here. Do you accept that you are here for a trial?
You know, it's really rude that guy never told me this back in Panama.
before I accept, I would like some information about what punishment follows the crime.
That depends on the verdict that is reached in the trial. You're also in absolutely no position to be making demands.
I feel like Laura's Tyrell.
Could I represent Mr. Gerbold and ask about his punishment?
Sorry.
Could I just ask on his behalf what his punishment would be?
He turned to it. What did you say, Gritbold?
I said I didn't demand, I was just asking. I said I would like some information. I didn't say I demand. I was trying to be polite.
Your trial will be tomorrow, after the punishment of Lord Tobias. The nature of your punishment will be decided tomorrow.
Does he go into a cell overnight?
Yes, Gritbold will need to go to a separate cell.
Is he allowed representation?
He will be allowed representation from one of you that passes the test of our clerics.
Oh, it's not written, is it?
What exactly? What are the clerics test for?
The clerics will test you for truth.
Oh, Trent, I hate to say it, but I think you might have to represent him.
Represent who?
Well,
Oh, what was the test? What was I missed that?
If I was to decline the
test
trial,
of
what would happen? Would I get sent back to Darumar for trial?
I can do that.
If you decline the fair trial that we offer here, then you shall be considered guilty of your crimes and charged with the same punishment of Lord Tobias. The choice is yours.
Can Lord Tobias not have a trial?
Lord Tobias has enough evidence against him that we need no trial.
I beg to differ with you there.
You may beg all you like.
Remember what I said at the garden?
I mean,
Lord Tobias has ruined the city he's
What if
supposedly
someone
run.
else took his name and was running around in his place?
He committed the crimes himself. You know the man that you travel with. Do you doubt his arrogance? Do you doubt the name that he has been flashing whilst you have been with him? Do you deny that he has not been doing this?
but there is no evidence that he either was aware of the situation here or that he actually assumed that had his family been in dire financial straits that they would actually resort to this. I don't think it's really reasonable to assume that he would know that.
Lord Tobias Fairmount is the son of a lord, schooled for many, many years on the rules and responsibilities of nobility.
But was he though?
He was. Whether he chose to listen to them, whether he chose to follow any of the morals that were attempted to be instilled to him by our mighty Lord Garland, are obviously in question. What's not in question is that the acts that he committed were committed by him, and that the actions he had were very real. The consequences of his actions are felt to this day.
But if you bury him,
Is the
what do you got?
intention of his burying him ultimately?
The gods will deem if he is worthy to survive.
Yeah, but you're leaving him to.
What's the punishment for blasphemy?
Punishment for blasphemy is 5 days here in the chapel of Ilmater.
Well, my representative.
Hello.
Am I to pick now?
You may pick tomorrow if you so choose.
I'll do it, Mr. Grimwald.
No, it's okay, sure.
Oh. Okay.
And I can pick any representative.
He looks at you just kind of like at the side of his eyes, kind of mistrusting. You may pick anybody that is here to represent you tomorrow.
Is that written in the laws? Or is this just for your speed of trial?
This is so that justice may take place at an appropriate time. You are already much later than was promised
Well,
to
if
the
you would
mayor
like to
of
send
Darumar.
emissaries back to Darumar to ask why we were delayed, feel free to do so. We were actually saving that city. I will be naming Denner of Longsaddle as my representative.
Will Dana be able to attend by tomorrow?
If you hurry up, you might be able to, but I want him to represent me.
It hurt that he didn't choose me.
I thought he'd choose you. Okay.
I have not heard of a long saddle. Where is Long Saddle, and how may we speak
I
to
don't
those there?
think you worthy for this knowledge. I accept your trial.
Then I will leave it to you and your companions to fetch your representative by tomorrow, or you will be appointed one from our clergyman.
And I want some religious fanatic to represent me. Take me to where you wish.
So a group of
Grimwald,
guards
who is he? Where do we find
No,
him?
no, no,
We have to fucking
grab
find
him by
him!
the arms,
We can't
Grimwald!
go to Longsaddle and back by tomorrow.
Where
it's
is it?
impossible.
drag him out of the room.
How far away is
I was
Longsaddle?
just about to say,
It would take weeks, months, maybe.
if I'm not allowed to wait for them to arrive, and then you won't be able to represent me, which seems a little.
I like how he's trying to reason with the path of religious fanatics.
It appears I will be naming one of you to represent me.
Yeah.
Go on.
Who would you like to name, Mr. Gritvold?
And he is
I'm
dragged.
not allowed to name him until tomorrow, apparently.
And he is dragged out of the room. The guards kind of taking their place back again in this room here. The gentleman turns to you and says, "Now, whether you knew of your companion's crimes, this is to be questioned. However, there have been no formal charges brought against you. Although, please, whilst you remain in this city, bear in mind that you will be scrutinized, your actions will be questioned, and any attempt to free your friends will be seen as an indication of your guilt. Now, we have some rooms here in the temple that you may stay in for the evening. We shall rouse you tomorrow to attend the punishment of Lord Tobias.
Can we visit our friends?
You may visit Gritvold tomorrow morning before his trial, so that he may name his champion, name his representative, and that will be all. Questions, young halfling?
I'm just mad dog.
It is already late. I will leave you. Good night. And he turns on his heel with a swish.
He was wearing heels.
Yes, he turns on. No, that's part of your body. And exits the room. A good 75% of the guard kind of following him. About 5 stay with you. And kind of this way.
Are we in trouble?
Everybody
Well,
in the worst trouble.
they don't like us,
They
but we're
are.
not really in trouble. But Toby and Gritvold really are.
I mean,
They lead you out of the room into the back of the main chapel and through a small door. It's just kind of long corridor, a number of kind of doors to the left and right. And the guards kind of open one and motion in, and there is just a number of kind of bedrooms on the floor. There seems to be quite a few, but nobody's currently occupying them. Seems this is maybe where
Can we go
like
stay in
acolytes
the
stay.
inn instead?
I'm under strict instructions.
We're not going to run away anywhere. Our friends are going to be on trial tomorrow.
We are from strict instructions from Minister Parson that you must stay here. Sorry, Pearson.
Am I being dragged down the hallway?
You are being dragged down under the cathedral. The stone walls kind of echoing. You kind of get dragged forward, and there are just a number of cells, kind of
Do
black
they seem occupied?
wrought iron. No, they don't. You get dragged into one.
Get any visitors here? Is it just that?
Manacled to the wall. There's a kind of pile of hay in one corner and a bucket in the other. Manacles reach just to get that bucket. That's about it.
Okay.
About 5 minutes later, there's another kind of clanking of chains. The door that you've kind of been led through to get here is unlocked, and brought in is Gritvold.
Hi, Gritvold.
And he is chained to the cell, the complete opposite ends. So you got one of the first ones, he's kind of at opposite ends. The guards kind of manacle Gritvold to the wall in a similar fashion. most of them leave. One of them stays in the room, just kind of standing by the door, and then there's this kind of click as the lock
So one of them is staying in the
in the room.
cells.
Yes.
Okay.
What's your name? You're gonna be a tough one to break, aren't you?
Tobias, has the city always been this backwards?
What do you mean backwards? Just how things are done,
Well,
right?
religious notebacks. The city.
The not-backeries kind of increased, but it's always been fairly religious. I mean, have you not been able... Can you not tell?
Well, I wouldn't have agreed to have the trial here in Downmar if I knew this was going.
I thought my dad was still going to be here. Hey, handsome, how are you?
No, I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying if I had known this, I wouldn't have let the trial.
Well, if I'd known I was going to be on trial, I wouldn't have wanted to be here either, Grinvald.
God. I don't even
Which
let
one?
me
No blaspheming. What's your name? Come on, you can tell me.
I've got someone that'll get on you now.
You want to hear the song I wrote about a secret tunnel? Generally speaking, it only lasts.
He's breaking.
Come on. Come on.
That was the reason.
Do you want to see me do a magic trick? Grinvald, this guy's more boring than you are.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll get on it. I think I should have
Out of game!
Are you talking about me or my NPC?
Are we just in the room?
Yeah, you've kind of been now left alone in the room. You do the door isn't kind of locked behind you, and kind of footsteps that kind of suggest the guards can leave.
I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can. No, I don't think that's a good idea. I'm just gonna see if I can maybe find out where Tony's family is or something like that. Or what's gonna be involved in the trial. That would be good. Just here's a pile of my clothes. Just put them in the corner. Small, easy. Just let me see if I can pick this lock. I'm gonna try.
It's not locked, is it?
It's not locked.
Oh, it's not locked. Okay. You can make me this is I'll try and get back.
You'll know the guards when they take you back. They're wearing completely different
Brown
appearance than
well,
you
why don't one of us wait out in the water with scuba brain? Scuba
Who
doodle.
has that? Is it me?
Yeah. Why doesn't one of us wait out in the water, and then when the water comes in, whoever has it rescues him, helps him.
You go try. That's a good idea.
But
You
I
can
need
do
to
that
be
idea.
Mr. Griphold's representative, though. But then the problem is, if we don't find, we can let him breathe because he can't both breathe.
Or I'll do it. I might see if I can get out. Wait. I'm never like passed the cleric's test. The test for truthfulness. I'm
Good
sorry
ball,
to
you
tell
really
you
are.
this, but I'm sometimes not entirely truthful.
I can't think it's honest.
You are
What?
halfway, though, right?
What happened when I left?
I asked if the reward still stood,
Okay.
and then they said no, and then turned it on. Apparently, I faced my trial tomorrow. I didn't represent it tomorrow. They won't let me be the representative I wanted.
Imagine not letting a man pick his own representative. That's awful.
Yeah, well, the person I wanted is someone who understands the unpredictable nature of what I've created, and they would be able to say, I made an error.
I'm going to
cast vicious mockery on the guard.
Much.
They go out and try him in the middle of the night.
We're gonna skip off into the sunset twice.
I saw online someone created an item which let players cast spells but change one letter in the title of the spell, and so then it would reflect that, and so it ended up with someone who kept casting vicious cockery.
The dancer just
You suffer 16 points of psychic damage.
I do.
As the last of the incantation leaves your lips, there's this kind of bright flash before your eyes, and this ringing pain in your head.
Nice.
And you see around the room as the kind of light fades from your eyes. Gritvold, you would see this
Well, do I
more.
not get to say my vicious mock?
Gritvold, actually, you would be able to see your vicious mock.
I think your flaming man is just. I think the fact that there's so many men on fire holding swords is awfully phallic.
And you say this as the pain hits your head.
Worth it!
And you, Gritvold, you see in particular, but you also see a number of kind of red runes that seem to kind of line this room. And by the light of the that's given off by this, I'd like you both to make a perception check for me.
Hey.
I'm making a political statement.
Oh, sorry.
Edward Starr and Rosemary Dominion abolished Palace.
Perception.
That's a 9.
8.
I love the old nerd.
Okay. You don't say anything else?
No, I just discussed it out.
What was that? What happened there?
Just.
Your magic will not work when you're in this
Says he's
room,
no
sir.
What?
What?
You're bleeding in the ear. Why not? You're not very talkative, are you? I have gold.
Why did they take all his stuff?
Because that's the way to get it.
It's worked so far. I
You
know
get
I'm
more
not there.
deaths.
They would have taken away kind of his sharp objects, his kind of like swords and stuff like that. When they've taken away everything, I mean, he's manacled and he's in a room which you don't know, but
Yeah.
cannot cast magic.
Like, buddy, you must know the Fairmounts. I know of the Fairmounts you will know, but I am not one of the more impressive ones at all. The best I've got is my magic, and this isn't working in here. So could you, what do you say, you would just take off these manacles and have a good look, Sinwag. Just you now. He's very dangerous. I wouldn't let him go at all.
Cripples in the jails and up a little bit.
What do you say? What was that?
He's gonna start throwing food.
What do you say, Mr. Guard? And I look as pathetic and defenseless as I possibly can.
You look very pathetic and defenseless.
Can I place a hand on the like? Is the cell like got bars?
Yep.
I'm not gonna try and now. I just want to put a hand on it and see if I get magic.
You do not, no.
Did you run out the room yet? We weren't
I
in
don't- I
shape
don't know.
before. 'Cause you went, oh yeah.
So whilst this is going on, what are you doing upstairs?
Alright, so
Yeah.
I might be back within the hour. I might not be back at all. We'll see how things go.
I don't want to lose something else. Just make sure that you're back in the
Well, yeah, but like, if I want to give the cloak
Yeah.
to Toby while he's in the water, I might not be able to slip away. So it might be best if I just go now.
Make you visual. But how, if you slip Toby the cloak in the water, what happened to you?
Well, I won't be buried in the sand, so
That's true.
I should be okay.
Okay. If you want to stay down, well, we can explain your absence.
Actually, yeah, then again, you could just turn me invisible.
Okay, right.
Have you witnessed this happening before tonight?
We'll try and keep to just the 2 rooms for now.
Awesome.
Alright,
Okay.
so turn me invisible now, I'll turn me back on.
Okay.
I just want to see what's happening.
Okay, instead of the door just opening on its own, I'm going to open the door and go, where's the toilet? So you slip out. So I just...
Fire today.
You've got so many good ideas today,
I'm so
Chad.
stressed that I'm just so focused. So I'm just like super nervous that I'm just, I've got to think of things because...
Really, you can be proud of yourself.
I'm going to open the door. Where's the toilet?
I'm going to stealthily, like,
Okay.
leave them.
Make a stealth check.
With advantage, because I'm invisible. That's 23.
You look, as you open the door and you kind of look around the corner, you do see at the end of this long corridor that you were brought down with all the kind of doors on each side, and there are 2 guards kind of at the doorway at the top, and they kind of pop their heads down and go,
Oh, toilet!
door on the end, sir.
Thank you. I'll just go there now. Just me. Going to the toilet.
Alone.
You make your way to the end.
I do love the toilet.
the end of our room?
End of the hallway.
Was it towards that?
No, other end. So they've kind of led you down the side hard way, and it's at that end.
I'm gonna spend some time in here. Just as a warning. I'll probably go back into the room in probably close to 50 minutes. It's a bad one. I can feel it. Looking around meaningfully and then go into the toilet and sit on it for 50 minutes.
Make a deception check.
It's so the door when she comes back doesn't just open on itself. That's my first bad roll tonight. Deception is 6.
Okay. The guard just kind of
Oh, I can feel
give
it.
you this look.
It's a storm brewing in my pants.
Probably. Meanwhile, downstairs does the exact same thing. You're a handsome man. Storm brewing in my pants.
I better go in. I'm going to go to the toilet now.
They just kind of look at you and go,
Whew! Don't come in.
no funny business now.
Sit on the toilet worried, biting my nails.
Cool.
You're gonna need to make farting noises.
You breathe. You make your way. You make your way along this kind of. You make your way along this kind of thin corridor, past the 2 guards, kind of successfully sneaking past it, back into the atrium of the temple, in this kind of central structure, with the man with the bouncers. What do you want to do?
I'm trying to find like where these guards are like gathering like some sort of mess hall or barracks or something. So I'm listening out for like the sounds of people talking.
Okay.
Like places where I'm likely to overhear stuff.
Okay, yeah. To the from your angle now, coming out from the back of it, to your left, where you've been, which is the right-hand side of the thing, the portion dedicated to Ilmater, you don't hear much sound. From the opposite side, the right, the left-hand portion of the thing, you do hear some sound, and there's some torch light.
Okay, I'm gonna head along that way then.
You head along that way, and there are quite a number of people in this room. It seems, as you kind of stop and listen, seems to be an evening service of sorts. Not many people, only 1 or 2 guards. It mainly appears to be civilians who have come and kind of making their prayers. They all seem to be centered around this one statue of a man with a sword, which is not flaming or with darkness.
Are they just praying or are they like chatting to one another?
They're just praying.
Okay.
You get the sense as you're kind of going through that this is mainly a place of worship. There are some small rooms that you find, kind of libraries and such, kind of places of study, and one place, as you kind of open the door, and it's back in the central structure, there appears to be this room with this large, long table with 5 seats around. Sorry, 1 second. 1, 2. 5 seats around the table, 5 kind of grand seats, but it appears you get the sense that, yeah, apart from kind of prayer, worship, and maybe some official duties of some sort, there's not kind of this one where the guards are housed.
Okay. Are there like groups of guards, like just in pairs or anything gathered anywhere?
Yeah, so there's some of the large. So there's the large main door, and much like all kind of large religious temples and such, and large buildings, really, there is a smaller door to the right, which is where people would normally come and go, and that is the one that there are 2 kind of guards there. Just kind of
I'm gonna see if they're saying anything interesting. Creep a little closer so I can hear them.
okay, make a perception check.
12.
Okay. You listen in. You don't want to get too close for fear of them kind of hearing you commit or anything like this. But you overhear snippets. They seem to be talking about kind of the recent arrests, kind of. Yes, it's about time that he answers for his crimes against this city. You do hear over here mention we'll have to keep extra guard this evening. Maybe resistant members who may try something when they
Okay.
Yeah, there'd be a resistance.
Okay.
So is there like a resistance movement that starts to burn down, our family's absence?
You can't say that now.
No, you most certainly cannot.
Alright, how much time has passed roughly?
10 minutes, not long.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to where the people are praying and then I'm gonna listen in there just to see if I can.
Stay there.
Like 20 minutes or so.
Okay. You stay for 20 minutes. You learn that this is the section dedicated to Torm, the goddess, the god of duty and loyalty. He's the one with the swords that they're praying to. There is no talk of Tobias or such. They do seem to be very much kind of engrossed in prayer. It is a small group of maybe like 20 or so that seems to be led by a minister of sorts, not the one that you've seen before that you've spoken to, but a kind of male human in kind of plate armor, with this kind of blonde hair, grey eyes, and you do see he's kind of limping a bit on his.
I bet he's not relevant to the plot at all.
Nope.
So you spot the main character in the anime.
Yeah, I've read the description. You do hear as the kind of service is finishing up, people kind of whispering his name, kind of as a thanks. Minister Helmund.
It's in the Helmand province.
Helmund. Anyway.
Is it the Helmand problem?
Yes, the very same.
Alright, just thinking back to the room where we were being housed, was there a window in it?
There would probably be, yeah. Yeah, there would be.
Large enough for me to climb out of?
Yeah, I mean, it's shut at the moment. You have to see whether it can open, but there's that, or there's the kind kind of open doorway that people are exiting from the service. People are exiting the temple now, finishing the service, so
Yeah.
you could always follow them if you wanted. It might be a bit easier. Not that I'm giving you any suggestions.
I'm gonna go with the window.
No, like back in the room where
Mhm.
3 of us were being kept.
Mm-hmm.
There's a window.
Okay, I'm going to slip in behind the people who are leaving so that I can go out the main door without it like opening by itself.
So the guards have kind of got the door open and they're seeing everyone go past. They do seem to be kind of closely scrutinizing people as they're going past, making sure that it's people that they recognize, or rather, it's not people that should be exiting.
Me.
Yes, but being invisible, make one more stealth check for me with advantage, but you should be fine.
Oh, this is a lot. Good.
18.
That's fine. So you exit. A slight scuff. a slight.
I'm not coming back. I don't know how long you're gonna sit there for.
This will be
It
will be a warm seat.
You slightly scuff your foot as you kind of exit, but kind of amongst all the other people exiting. You are now in the town hall. The guards have kind of left. There are kind of 2 stationed where you are now, and kind of 2 stationed at the opposite ends. Like you're just kind of milling about, but there's no, there's not the kind of big guard presence that you saw before.
I'm just gonna. People are still like leaving out, like they're going outside, right?
Yes. You kind of got in at the end of the thing, so as you kind of get outside, they appear to be going, kind of dispersing off to different parts of the city.
Okay. I'm just going to follow a couple of people. I'm looking for a tavern or something somewhere.
Okay. Make an intelligence check.
Okay.
Okay, you do remember Tobias mentioning that there was a tavern that.
Yeah, I remember he mentioned one, but I don't know if he said where it was.
You can't remember that.
Yeah.
You follow the people out though. They do appear to be. This is a residential kind of area or district of the town, and they appear to just be kind of going off to their houses and to their homes.
Okay, so I'm gonna change direction and head to a different part of the city.
Okay, so you're kind of in the eastern half of the city, which, as you're going around and as you saw from above, does appear to be a very residential area, kind of houses just with fires and such, as pretty much like night activity. You head to the western part of the city. It doesn't take you long, maybe like 10 minutes. It's not actually a huge city, do you know what I mean? You hear out from kind of noises and kind of
Dolls just sending us messages.
oh.
It's like, no, I'm not.
Should I read the rest?
No,
I know it's there.
I was.
Okay.
You can send the group chat if you like.
Yeah,
Push
and
my
you
ideas there.
make your way to the docks, and down there, make an investigation check for me.
There's a Tobias-shaped hallway.
Ooh, 18.
You do come across what appears to be one of the only main sources of kind of entertainment this evening, the inn at the docks. It's called the Pilgrim Inn, and it seems to be it's a 2-story building, tattered with a sign, fairly tattered, the sign of a foaming beer mug outside, kind of just swinging. Doesn't appear to be any kind of stables or such.
Okay. I'm going to take out my white cloak and then just sort of put it on, kind of put my hood on.
She's like one of the assassins.
Yeah.
Except with
Yeah.
Well, I'd use another colour if I had
This
one.
is like a ghost.
the best people say.
But I'm aware of the fact that my invisibility is probably not going to last much longer.
No, you've probably got maybe like at this point, 10 minutes or so.
Okay, so I'm gonna see if I can just slip into the tavern.
Yeah, that wouldn't be an issue with
Like, the wind could open the And then I'm just gonna sort of go around and have a listen, see if anyone's saying anything interesting.
You go around the tavern.
Ignoring people having fun, I'm listening to for serious conversation.
Okay. Make a
The ones with the great big, like,
Question mark above
exclamation marks.
Yeah. Okay.
Unfortunately, I just rolled a 4, so...
You don't even see those.
It's fairly busy, but you do notice that there are all appear to be drinking, but it's not kind of the usual smell that you smell in a tavern of beer and stuff like that. Like,
Tourist kind of place.
there's not the usual smell of beer and such. In fact, the only thing that you kind of seem to garnish over the next kind of 10 minutes or so is that there is no alcohol being served in this place.
Alright, am I still invisible?
And you just start to feel a tingling across your skin. As if you might
I, by this time, waddled out. Woo! Big! Poo! And I walk back in. Keep my head low.
As you close the door, you do hear the footsteps of a guard kind of walking past your room into the toilet where you were. Did you actually do it?
No, I was too nervous.
Kind of
I got stage fright.
a couple minutes, kind of spent, and then you just kind of exit, kind of muttering to the garden.
Halfling poos are like rabbits.
No, I was being. I opened the door slightly a bit more because I thought it was back.
I
Made sure there's a mountain in the garden.
I'm gonna go up to the bar.
Mhm.
And I'm going to say, hello, the name is Selma Butterscotch. I'm just newly arrived from Luskin. Your finest ale, please.
the barman kind of looks over. There are wait, did I read? Oh no. Wow. Quite short features, golden hair, and kind of bright, piercing blue eyes. She's got kind of well-made clothing and an iron amulet around her kind of neck. And she kind of leans forward, and sorry, she's a kind of a female human. And she kind of leans forward, puts her elbow on the bar, says, "You're new to town, aren't you, little one?"
How could you tell?
I could tell because, unfortunately, some alcohol in the city is a dry city.
Oh. Is there a reason?
Yes, she kind of looks about. It's ever since the tragedy began in charge of the city, such evil substances are kept away from the lips of these fair citizens.
That's very interesting. Sorry, I will purchase whatever your equivalent of your finest ale is, and please do tell me all about it.
Okay, so she kind of looks about.
Is she a beautiful lady?
Bree doesn't care.
It's for my immersion.
No.
Oh god.
Yeah. She kind of gets a mug from out, pours what would be the normal ale taps. It appears to be kind of like a foamy brown liquid. Sure. And she hands you some butterbeer.
The funnest prohibition bureaucracy ever.
Yeah. It's quite good actually.
Oh, this is really nice.
So, what brings you to the city? Did you come in one of the boats, or?
Really should have.
I actually have been traveling on foot. I'm something of a wanderer right now.
I see. So you came via the tradeway, north or south?
You know what? Honestly, I've been a bit lost. But this seemed like a really nice city to stop and get my bearings.
Of course, it is a beautiful city. You'll have to see it in the daytime. When did you arrive?
Oh, very recently, like just now.
Would you have seen the commotion that happened in the town square then?
Oh, I think I might have heard something, but I have to say I didn't see exactly what happened. What was it?
Ah, well, she kind of looked and says, I probably should speak of such things. You enjoy your butterscotch.
Oh, please, please. Very.
What's her name?
Your name?
I'm very interested to hear. Here, I'll buy 2 more drinks.
Okay, make a persuasion check.
You need to like draw a unicorn on the table.
9. She goes, thank you. You'll get your drinks, but this is and she kind of leaves and starts kind of serving the guests.
I'll look around and see if there's anyone else I can talk to.
You look about, it's fairly late in the evening at this point, and there's only a couple of small groups of people. You do see 2 people. You did get pretty shitty on this area.
Oh my god, I'm rolling so terrified.
I'm really
right now.
trying.
I'm rolling so badly. That's so
Oh my
funny.
god!
It's a halfling's 1 and I rolled a 2.
That's just the halflings too.
Yeah, you are just sitting there. Actually,
Halflings poo.
to be fair. Yeah.
Alright, I'm just gonna go up to the, I'm gonna take my drink and I'm gonna go and sit down at a table that has people at it.
Okay.
I don't care if they don't look welcoming, I'm sitting with them.
Okay. You go down and sit next to a group of people and they kind of
Hi, I'm new in town. My name's Selma.
Nice to meet you, Selma. You're new to town.
I thought you said Velma.
Velma.
That can be my next alias.
Velma Scotland.
Yes, we can tell that you're new. Can we help with anything?
Oh, I was just hoping that some people could help me get my bearings. I'm a bit confused. I've never been to Summercrest before, and I don't think I really understand the dynamic here. What's your name?
And the gentleman that's kind of speaking to you kind of turns around. My name is Harry, H-A-R-I. He's male and he's a dwarf. He has a long face, red hair, grey eyes. He's wearing kind of studded leather armor. And kind of he's got kind of a scar around his right cheek. And he
I
is.
can't believe you had NPCs planned for the tavern.
I have planned this for a long time.
Like 10 episodes.
Yes. This is like 3rd episode. We're now on episode 21. A very weather-beaten face. Yeah, we're sailors. We've got the big ship outside. She's a beauty, but we won't be singing long this time. Drab and dreary. We'll be away on the Iron Chieftain tomorrow.
That's what you're concocting down in the ship.
Yeah.
Where are you sailing to?
Good question. I think we were going to be heading down to Callanport, but we hear there's trouble brewing there. We heard
I was going to be heading towards Callanport myself, you see, so I'm quite curious.
we heard recent reports of movements of some kind of civil uprising. In particular, we heard rumors of some great battle not far from Memnon with some otherworldly beings. We don't really know what's going on, or but the region appears to be quite unstable, so I think we might just head back up north, back to Baldur's Gate.
North is best, isn't it? It's not as hot.
Make
So what's up with summer? Sorry, you were gonna.
an intelligence check.
No, that's a 7.
Yeah, you don't really know what they're talking about.
So
Or where they're talking
So what's wrong with Summercrest then? Why don't you want to stay here? I mean, I've never been here before, but I heard some stories. I heard it was a very wonderful, vibrant city.
in some regards, for some people, I suppose, but not for us sailors. You can get in, but only if pay quite steep to sail.
Sorry, what did you say?
Oh, you have to pay quite steep to the bar lady saying if you want to get ale. And you can get too drunk when they shall know. Even now, there are guards in the tavern. And he kind of gestures, and over sitting in the corner, you do see two figures, cloaks, kind of just sitting there on the table. Don't appear to be talking much. It's going to be accurate eyeing the room, so looking about.
And why are they so strict about alcohol here?
Something to do with the religion, devil's drink, they call it.
Oh. Well, I can't imagine people would be very happy with that, like just suddenly having all their drink taken away from them. I mean, I can understand some people just persuasion might feel that way, but it's surprising to me that people are
Well, from what I hear, they've been fairly drab and dreary in this town for a long time. They turned away from alcohol and such things, and instead turned to religion, which is a balloon, if you ask me.
Maloney!
They can't have all done that, surely.
There is one other inn north of the city or south of the city that we considered going to, but we'll just stay here, drink our ales, and we'll be off tomorrow morning. Not worth
Have you
investigating.
tried the butter beer? It's actually really good.
It is so incredibly sweet. It's sickening.
Okay, well you're a dwarf, you don't understand these things.
Yeah, clearly.
Sorry, what was the other inn you were going to go to?
Yeah, I seem to have forgotten the name now.
I'm very sorry, what is that?
Make a precision check.
That made me roll again, I'm rolling so badly.
I know, you have to get a good one eventually. I'm really trying to get
Remember about 10 minutes ago I cast Bardic Inspiration? Welcome to my world.
Oh, my woman.
What?
Wait, did you say that was persuasion?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, I get a +6 to that, so that's a 10.
Double figure.
For story's sake.
DC was
Let me get somewhere!
Go to the south of the city to the merchants district. You'll find an inn there. They may have what you're looking for.
Thank you.
She said she would.
Is there anything you guys want to do?
Yeah, I'm really sorry for just, like, going off and having an adventure without you guys.
As long as you get back.
I might go out and talk to the guards.
About.
I just gonna talk to them. There's nothing that can go wrong.
I mean, I heard the whole, toilet.
It's fine. I want that. I'm gonna go talk to them because Bree's actually gone. We need to find out. Oh, sure, you can come with me.
Right.
Yeah. There's just those two there in the corridor. Just controlling your eyes.
I can't see.
I have special eyes.
I put my hat down completely, so it's just like.
Okay, but I'm going to go to the end of the corridor and awkwardly whistle my way all the way down the end of the corridor while they're just standing there watching us. You can. Oh, hello there. I was just wondering. My stomach's much.
Yeah, sorry.
My stomach's much better, but sorry for that. Yeah, how are things?
They're good, but I don't know what game you're playing.
No games.
Just a bit small in there.
We just wanted to stretch our legs. We can't sleep very stretched with you having our friends and everything.
Have a chat.
Which way is the dungeon for the morning so we can go and see our friends?
We'll leave you there in the morning. It's probably best we don't give you the location of the people that you're
yeah. You haven't,
Alright, good chat. I mean, grab chat and just kind of turn around and walk away.
Good night. Do you know Elvish?
For
the 35th time this evening. Secret
tunnel.
Secret tunnel.
Or even more
Weird
Even more
I
I think I got that one down.
Back to you,
Do you
Bree.
want to teach me?
Alright, I'm gonna follow Harry's directions and see if I can find this inn that he mentioned.
There's no way to mind.
You head to the south of the city, and as you make your way through the trade district, it slowly goes to, as you get closer to the cliffside,
Down.
the buildings get larger, gardens get larger. There seem to be, return from just trees to mansions. From houses to mansions. Kind of independent guards here in some way. And in one kind of just nestled into the corner of an overhang, you do find a small kind of square building. One story, it's made of whitewashed walls, and there is a stables here.
That music was a little bit intense.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
It's from the Da Vinci Code, is it not?
Probably, yeah. And a sign outside that says the pantry.
Pantry.
Mhm.
Alright, I'm gonna go inside.
You begin to make your way inside, but oh, hello. Before you do, you get a hand that kind of grabs your wrist and says, "Come with me."
I'll look to see who that was.
You look to your right, and kind of a small, cloaked figure, thin, human, kind of soft features. Looks like it might be a female. It just kind of.
Alright, I'm gonna let her lead me away, but just gonna keep one hand on my dagger, ready to react if something attacks me.
And she drags you towards the building, but round the side of it, and into the stables. And then there's, in one corner of the stables, she kind of pulls up this trapdoor. This ring. She pulls it up, and she motions for you to head down.
Just before I go in, just something to
With friends of Tobias.
Okay, cool. I'll go in then.
You follow her down, and as your
Got a
eyes.
fan club, Toby.
Oh yeah.
As your eyes adjust to the light, you see there quite a gathering of people, maybe like 20 or so people, on various pieces of clothing, some kind of fairly ornate. You see one man with a number of kind of rings glistening across his fingers. Yes. The female that kind of led you down kind of takes her kind of hood off, and goes and sits at the head of kind of this group of people. Says, my, you are making a mess of things, aren't you?
Well, I'm trying, and what do you mean? Who are you? What am I making a mess of? What was I supposed to be doing?
Of course.
I'm just trying to find out what's happening here. Who are you?
My name is Carlia.
Carlia, okay, nice to meet you. Never heard of you.
I am an... Oh. I'm not surprised. He always was fairly self-centered. I'm an old friend of Lord Tobias. I taught him everything he knows. Down to the gambling and the butchery.
Well, then you'll know that that's what got him into trouble here, right?
Yes, I know. Everybody here knows exactly what he's done. We've gathered people here this evening to enact what we thought was going to have to happen this whole time. We have some people on the inside and the guards of the triad. With enough coin, we've get them to look the other way. We wish to retrieve your members of your party this evening, reunite you here, and we shall fill you in when you have all gathered. Does this seem?
Alright, I'm in. Prison break.
Prison break. Now, we have had this plan set for a very long time. Just put money in the right pockets. All we need you to do is we need you to be back with your party. We can't, for this to work, we need you to exit altogether. We need you together.
Why?
The plan is tomorrow morning at dawn, when you go to speak to Gripville before the trial of Tobias, when you're all gathered together, the guard that is on duty will look the other way as we sneak you at the back of the dungeons, a secret entrance they don't know about that one of our builders made when it was being recently constructed. We shall sneak you out together. We can't have you splintered across multiple locations. We need you to look like you've vanished together. We can't have, only two of you exiting the room. We know that you were in a room together. We need you all together in one place. It's just going to be the easiest way of doing things.
Okay, fine. You understand. I wanted to know what was happening. So do you know where Tobias' family is?
Yes. Some are here in the city and some are away at another location. As I said, tomorrow, when you're all gathered here together, we can fill you in on all the details.
Are you sure I can't just stick with you guys and help out with the prison break? That sounds exciting.
If you are caught not being in this room this evening, they shall triple the guard, quadruple the guard. They will search the city to find you, and the whole plan fail.
Alright, well, you got any messages or anything you want me to deliver? Have I just made this trip for nothing?
Take the message of hope, that we are here, that we have planned for this eventual blundering, and that we shall do our best.
I mean, just for the record, we had a plan as well. See, I've got this, and see what I was going to do was I was going to go out into the water and I was going to wait, and then I was going to sneak up and like just shove it on Toby, and then this will help him breathe underwater and things like that.
So you mean to say, as perhaps half of the city comes to watch the Lord's Son, the one that's caused him so much pain and troubling, is punished, that you wanted to sneak in front of those couple hundred people and save him?
Well, at least I was trying.
Yes, well, we have been planning this for 3 years now, so...
Fine, okay. I'll go back then. Nice to meet you, Carlisle, I guess.
Nice to meet you too, Yuri Tosco.
How do you know my name?
She just smiles. Winks.
So like Toby.
Okay. Bye then. Bye.
She knows. Somebody else kind of leads you up the thing, and they kind of get back to their talking, quite serious, kind of hushed voices, kind of making their plans, polishing off.
Okay, I'm gonna try and very sneakily make my way back to the building where we were before.
Takes you about another maybe like 15 minutes to get back to the town square and the cathedral temple of the Triads.
At this point, Trent is probably pacing heavily and very heavily considering just going and attacking the guards.
Okay.
Have you voiced any of these?
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 hours. That's 3 people constantly.
From the outside, can I figure out which window was ours?
Make an investigation check.
I'm gonna lie down
Yeah.
next to the evening's hospital because they come in here.
You've got to get one good roll of the evening, Katrina.
Stop jinxing it.
Please.
That is not a good roll.
Can I roll a different surface?
No, it's your fault.
You have made that roll. You're not getting another one.
Re-roll.
What did you get?
I get +3 to intimidation. This is not intimidation.
Intimidation.
Investigation.
Where's the window building?
6. That's
Fortunately
it.
for you, you can get to the portion of the wall where the windows are and you identify the one.
Wow.
Okay.
That was
I'm going
What
to...
happens to got 20 on that?
Yeah. No!
The window comes down.
The blueprint of the building appears in front of our eyes.
I'm going to grab some stones. I'm going to try and throw a stone at the window.
Okay. You throw a stone at the window.
Did you hear that?
No, you don't hear that.
Oh.
I'm gonna...
Sorry.
Does it hit the window?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm just going to wait a bit, see if anything happens. I'm going to throw another stone.
This time, as you hear as it cracks against the window opens and you see the face of the man that you were speaking to earlier, Minister. Minister Pearson. Thank you,
Okay,
guys.
I'm gonna see if I can flatten myself against the wall before he sees me.
Oh god.
Just roll a d20.
So, table now.
That's better.
Well, it's an 8.
It's better.
Can I add a modifier?
Stealth.
Oh, good.
18!
I should have said that. You just get into the shadow of the wall as the minister. Actually, what is his dexterity?
Is it perception or dexterity?
Oh, it would be perception, which is based off of
Wisdom.
What's 16 plus 3?
19. Sorry. I mean, it was 17.
So wait, what did you get?
She got 18.
I got 17.
Yeah.
So
Over the course of 3
he
years.
pokes his head out, looks about, and you just see as you look up, just like his face scanning as he kind of looks around. You just manage, like you swear he must see you, but he looks around, grumbles, shuts the door.
Okay, I'm clearly in the wrong place. Gonna reevaluate the whole finding the right window thing.
You like to make another investigation check for me?
I would love to make another investigation
You're
check.
gonna roll
This is
that
hard work.
What is it?
It's a 7.
Oh.
Yep, that's a 7.
I'm not rolling
You sure it's not-
anything
you
in
sure it's
double
not 1?
digits.
It's not 1?
No, the one's right next to it.
10.
Ah.
Okay. You find the window.
Okay, now I'm going to throw a stone, and this time, as soon as I throw it, I'm going to like go up against the wall and then just look up and see. Who's
Okay.
gonna-
It's the same
Okay,
window.
You hear a stone
Javelin.
hit against the
Launching.
window. You hear a stone hit the window.
They come to take you.
I stand in front of it.
Not this one!
What kind of window is it? Is it like super high up? Is it
Not that
reachable?
high up, like you could, like if you get up on your tiptoes, you could open it. As you're about to kind of get up there, you hear kind of a stomping of feet and guards knock on your door.
I was like, I mean,
I opened the
how far did we, as in, did they happen to be at the door just as I went to look at the window, or did I hear the feet and go, oh, I'm going to not do that?
You heard the feet after Tren shouted.
Right.
Ah.
So then I go and lie down on my, not to sleep, but just like next to the pile that is.
Evening, officer.
Is everything okay in here?
No, making it weird.
I'm sorry?
Is everything okay in here? We heard you shout.
Yes, sorry, I thought my belly,
Perception check.
I mean, the party moves.
Even if you're lost, you can face the life because it's in your heart.
I'm trying to read that.
We appreciate. I especially appreciate it.
Deception, did you say?
Yes.
I got leaning against the
Yes, indeed. And they kind of look around the room.
From Tropic Thunder down there.
They look to you. And they look to the pile that's Bree.
Exotic food you had here.
They kind of have a look. He is ignoring you. I would like you to make a deception roll for having made the kind of pile and making it look like something.
You can do it. This is
I
easy.
made the pile though.
Oh, you made the pile then?
Actually, no. I may have a +9, but I don't trust my roll.
Who made the pile? Did you say that you made the pile? Yes, then you roll. Oh, you wait. You have a +9. You beat.
Even if you roll a 2, you're going to roll higher than
No, it's-
You've also.
You've already done.
You roll. You
That's a
roll
1! I
Yeah!
can re-roll it! 15! I finally rolled high! That's a 24 on deception. That is the most Brie-looking pile you've ever seen.
And
Yeah,
then
I
Here.
believe it's
it
great.
just kept coming. And
It even seems to be breathing.
at one point, I thought it stopped. But
One of
actually
them
it
comes
just
over
kept-
and pokes the pile and sees it kind of move, or kind of. She goes.
I put my
Sorry.
hand on my morning star.
And he kind of comes back and goes, we I have absolutely no idea what is going on here. If we hear another commotion, then you will be separated in separate rooms. You can understand why we are so on edge, shall I say. So we just want to guard. You know, we just want to be here.
Two of our friends have been taken.
No more issues. Please go to your beds. We'll see you in the morning.
As the guard we're with worked with many.
Tend to speak English.
This pile is very brave.
You've been here a long time now, aren't you tired?
Money.
Make a perception check.
Which is you. I'm just going to tell you that.
What was it?
Perception, you say.
Yeah.
On the floor.
That's a 4.
He seems so tired of you.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for.
He's just doing his job. Why do you have to torture him this way?
Gribald, are you doing anything while you're in that thing? Sorry, you're being left.
It's alright, I'm just sat brooding.
He's shaping his poo bombs.
This is kind of revenge for the episode where it was all about you.
I'm just thinking about maybe never seeing Rosie again.
Again, for the second
Aw.
time.
Yep. Okay. You go back to the window.
I'm throwing another stone at this point.
You throw those. Mhm. You lift Tren up.
Push out my
It's kind of like on a
Morning
hinge,
star.
so you swing it out.
morning star. Fall backwards off the table. I'm holding you. You can't go anywhere. Can you reach? Or no, I can use my rope.
Yeah, like if he's
But then I just
yeah between kind of trying to get his arm out is way too high, but then a rope comes dangling out. I would like you to make a stealth check to get back into the
It's
room.
got the melt sign.
Yeah!
Stealth.
Now we're really good. That's 29 spell.
Okay, you're just fine. Wait, was that natural 20?
That was a 19.
Well,
I
you
get
have
plus 10.
yeah, you make it back into the room without noting anyone more of your presence.
How big?
Guys. We're good. But I'm so much
Yes, you can. But in our bed, then like.
Okay, fine. How good's the pile, by the way?
I can't talk to him. He's still in now.
Cal, can I ask
Close the window again. The window is closed, Ben.
What do you like to ask, sorry?
Can I ask him for, I don't know, if I could get a quill, some ink and paper.
I'm going to
And a
write a
gun.
letter to Rosie.
Aren't you manacles?
He is, much like all the other requests, the various requests from Tobias to take his clothes off, to tell him a
Take my
bedtime,
clothes off.
to tell him a
Dummy.
bedtime
Have you tried
story,
poker? Does he fall over?
and he does not respond.
I'm just going to sit.
Is that bitch from Game of Thrones? Harry the Bell.
By the way, you could always write it in feces on the wall if you really need to. You're in the
Well, he's already thrown his pieces at the guy.
so use up your feces.
Kamal goes to sleep.
Okay, so there's a resistance movement.
That's one of those. No, you didn't remember. Oh, right, didn't.
Basically, it's one of Toby's old friends has a plan. They've paid off all the guards. Once we go to the prison in the morning, they're gonna rescue us.
That's great.
It's brilliant.
So
So it's awesome. It's really sweet.
Stop saying.
They don't do alcohol or this night. You have to brew
was Toby lying about something?
It seems to be a new thing. I don't know.
I was picturing rainbows and unicorns and it's
Well, we're gonna be fine tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
So what do we just cool. Go with the go.
Once we're in the prison tomorrow, just go with it. They're gonna rescue us then. I guess we should get some sleep.
You all rest for the evening. You woke in very early in the morning, sunlight barely streaking through the window. You barely just get enough sleep that you're not exhausted, but you
Is it
are.
noon already?
You're rubbing. There's absolutely no light in the dungeon. Like the two of you, Gribald and yourself, don't see anything. There's a change of guard in the middle of the night, but so you up.
You hear faint sobbing as the guy
It's just good. Do I get my health
Just
back?
So you do
Magic
get
time.
your health back, so both you and Gripvold, you do suffer a point of exhaustion because you're manacled, you cannot sleep properly, like you took a lot far into the night. You did not get enough.
That's how bad Toby finds the whole experience.
Sure.
Are you
take your
actually
2 points.
asking for extra exhaustion?
I don't know if you want that. I'll have your speed.
Yeah, so you both suffer a point of exhaustion.
I'm your hero, leader of the rebellion.
So,
Oh my god. It doesn't exist. As if Toby wasn't unbearable before.
as you guys are woken up, there's a knock at the door. You will be brought to Gripvold.
Morning, chaps.
Your decisions will be made regarding this day. You will be served a simple meal before you begin the day. Tobias's punishment on the shores. No, I forgot the name of it. At the punishment place. It's at the sands of punishment.
Do we get second breakfast on the lemons this year?
We've got some snacks now, right? We've got snacks.
It's so amazing that Toby. Anyway, shall we go?
Yes, let's
Officers?
go to the prison.
So he leads you out the long corridor back into the main atrium, and then towards the back of it there's some step, and to the side there seems to be some steps leading down. They seem fairly new construction, and they lead you into a small room. You, Gripvold and Tobias, you are you hear some noises in the room kind of adjacent to yours, and then just click the lock as your friends are kind of brought into the room. There is
Hey guys.
Hi,
2
Toby.
guards. There's one kind of who's standing right next to you, next to the cage, and then there's one at the door, the one that changed in the middle of the night. And
I'm going to subtly wink at one of the guards.
the door. Okay. The guards just kind of.
Have a good night.
It's alright. How was yours? Okay with you?
Conversation with the jobs, you know, but good.
Hi, Gripvold.
About a minute passes before the guard closest to you guys looks up the guard at the top. Okay. Nice. You see him kind of put his fingers and mutter something under his breath. And you see the guard at the end of the room just freeze completely up. As his body is just completely kind of held down, his eyes are just darting around. And the man says, "Quickly, this won't last long." And he takes the keys at his things and quietly starts kind of unlocking the doors. And he points to you and says, "There, coming from the door." And as he points to the corner of the room, just looks like a wall. like a stone wall.
I'm gonna go up to the wall and start just feeling about to see if there is a candle anywhere.
Make an investigation check.
Not 20!
Nice. So very quickly you find a black kind of, in keeping with the colour of this, you do find a black kind of ring, and as you pull it, you find that one of these kind of sections of stone is just like a panelled covered doorway instead, and it just kind of pulled and leads downwards into
This is so cool. Don't need to check
and yeah, it's kind of actually kind of at the door.
Have you seen a bird come by? It's working in anti-magic room.
Good question. Cool. Is it the door?
I usher everyone out. I usher out the slave. And close the door and stay inside.
There,
Does anybody notice that?
yeah.
Surely the guard would have.
Make a stealth check. I want everyone else to make. Actually, what's your passive?
3-year plan. They wouldn't
My
just
passive
let
perception is 11.
I'm not going off. I'm just like through the door.
I
No, but you close, as in you close the door. You close on the other side. Yeah, he wouldn't just let you do that. Surely, he's so insistent on really doing what he says. I rolled single times. I rolled 15.
So, yeah. You close the door. You get through the door, close behind you. Rush out of the door, out of the thing. It's a dark tunnel. It's not kind of well crafted in any way. It's very much kind of, very much an escape route that you would expect. Kind of dripping walls, kind of very moist, and
This is a tunnel I was saying about last
it
night.
it continues for maybe kind of 50 yards or so before it abruptly ends, and there's kind of some steps leading up. And as he kind of leads you up and out of the top here, you see yourself in a dark alleyway, and you kind of see them kind of blinking, and he's looking around. Right, Carly is waiting for you, Lord Tobias.
Carlia?
Yes.
Yeah, I met her. She was kind of rude to me. Well, I mean, maybe she was. I don't know. Was she?
It was dark. You might be really paying
I
attention.
didn't really
With
see
those beautiful
her.
eyes and that kind of honey amber coloured hair that she has. Have you heard her sing?
Do I notice that Trent's not here?
Everybody make
Okay.
a perception check.
I would like to, before the guard starts moving, I want to go
I rolled 22.
and
Back to rolling terribly.
I would just throw down my weapons at his feet and just tell him that he's a mess. I just walk into a cell and just sit down.
You do notice that Trent has not come out the tunnel with you.
You have to get back. Don't go back. Say it to the guy.
Yeah, the spell will not last 5 seconds. We don't have time.
You should say it.
No, we can't risk.
Literally can't.
We can't risk doing it. I'll go back. I'll go back for it.
Make your vision. No. Make your vision.
Is that you saying you're going to do it, or is that you doing
Yes,
it?
no, head setting. I can make you.
I quickly take off the
Just try and find a mirror where you're going, right?
Yeah, I know where to meet you guys later. Okay.
So you're made invisible. You began.
I'm hurrying.
No,
back.
no,
Right, Balak and the thing. You guys, he is no. All will be explained shortly. And he starts, like like just tearing through the town, like keeping to the alleyways, trying to be stealthy and such. I want
You know
all
what?
of.
Toby would not leave Trent.
Okay, so you stay with Bree.
I turn myself invisible.
Turn yourself invisible. So as you guys are headed off, I'd like Britvold and Hex make a stealth check.
7.
I was another natural 20.
Nice. Well, with my natural 20 for your random encounter, your random man,
I just don't have this.
you and it makes up for your role there. You make your way stealthily through the city. Thus far undetected. Bree, you begin making your way down your tunnel. Do you also do invisible? Cool.
Are you trying to be stealthy? So, like, can I hear you coming?
Yeah, I don't care if you hear me.
Okay.
So you hear them coming.
And then
You just
turn
hear,
around.
you turn around, you don't see anything, but you do hear kind of like, and you see kind of splashes against walls.
It's me.
What are you doing here? Fine, never mind. We don't have time. Let's get him out.
I'm getting trained.
As you get back to the room, you kind of open the door and peek in, and you see there now the train sitting there, surrounded by a number of guards as the spell wore off. And you just kind of go, you see him as you go, help! And just screams, and coming back, like the door just bursts open. He's kind of almost knocked to the side. A number of guards rush in and just are looking around, kind of like, you know, they go into the cells, and the man's like, there's a secret entrance at the back.
How many guards?
5.
Wow. Oh, go on, sorry.
5 guards, eh?
Mm-hmm.
I
Why are
want to attach manacles as well,
Are we just full on sprint?
if I can. I don't know if they work like that. Yeah, I don't know if they're like clickers or what.
They're kind of like, they pump around and what are you two doing? You see as they kind of got around and the guards are kind of looking in your direction as if they're coming to...
How narrow is this tunnel?
The tunnel behind you is a narrow kind of width-wise. Like,
So could I like flatten myself against the wall so if they were to come through, I could avoid them?
yeah, yes.
I'm gonna like whisper this to me, get back, they're coming.
Toby, what are you doing? Quickly.
I want to count. So the guards are in the room.
Yep.
5 of them.
Yep.
I cast. Wolf Curse on
Okay. So they need to make wisdom saves. What do they have to be?
Just a receiving spell would be paralyzed.
Yeah, what's your spell save DC?
I didn't think 15.
So, 2 of them, kind of you see, kind of go like this. Unfortunately, that
Power
banned
companies.
this. Yeah. I'm just kind of one of the. That's really gonna annoy me. One of the guards that got previously.
I'm just gonna go.
Yeah. Okay.
Mate. Just like that.
2 of the guards are held. One of them is not. Just kind of shakes his head, and you just become visible at the door, kind of casting your incantation as 3 of them begin rushing towards you. I want the 2 of you to roll for initiative.
Can I as well? Seeing him appear.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, and you have a disadvantage on this because it's an ability check.
Yes, you do.
Because of exhaustion. Oh, fuck.
Like a
13.
madman.
Okay.
20.
21.
Oh wow. Cool. Cool. Toby. Cool. Top of the round, train.
I would like to Misty Step in front of the door and close it and hold my body in front of it.
In front of
The
the.
hidden door?
Yeah.
Is
Okay.
it-
Yeah. Well, I put this on.
I would like to say, I just say, run, Lord Tobias, run! And I slam the door.
So, Tobias, as you've kind of got your kind of hand and you're kind of out here kind of casting hold person, you just see Trent appear in front of you. He kind of slams the door and says, "Run!" Bree, you're so invisible.
Yeah, so I'm gonna stay where I am, just on the other side of the door, like, held against the wall. I've got my dagger out ready, and I'm going to hold my action
Okay.
until, if one of the guards opens the door, then I'm gonna make a stab at them.
Cool.
But only a guard, not 10.
Yes. Cool. He's already on the side of the door. See, Trent's in your side of the door.
Oh, he's,
No,
I thought he was
in
in
front
front.
of the door.
It's just one of those two out.
You're barring those two out.
Yes. And
Okay.
got it, so more guards on one side, and then so I'm barring the door.
Okay.
Very confused.
So like if I'm in the cell, the prison, and this is the door opening here, I bar the door, so you two are trapped on it leading up to the secret door.
Okay. Bree, you're up.
Trent, come with us.
You would be able to hear it. It's just a forbidden door. You don't have much conversation time with him.
Okay, I just quickly go. Someone has to pay for this, but it won't be you. Just run! Hold the door.
You do anything in the action? Make a strength check. You barge against the door.
Do not play like it's sick.
Wow.
No.
Do you do movement? Alright. Next up is the guards. You hear them, they rush straight over to you. You hear them calling, you hear more guards coming down the stairs and not getting through you yet. And the three guards that are over to you say, "Move aside!" And they try and close. So they
Let's go
make
swamp.
three separate strength checks. It's gonna have a bearing.
9 and the second one.
Okay, so you just managed to hold on as they're just kind of like pulling and tearing at you to come away. Your go.
I'm gonna shout run and just gonna be like. Okay, so I'm gonna try and say. Twice, just go and be better. And I'm gonna stand there, I guess.
Bree?
Yeah, if I can, just hungry down and like me. But
Which way does the door open? Does it, it's like, if I were to open it, I would push it.
Yeah, right.
Right. Okay.
I know.
You could have used your held action if you wanted to change your
Yes, I
Well, no, it
So who you what do you want to do this action?
I'm dodging.
I'm just gonna whisper over to Toby, and I'm gonna continue to hold an action to attack any guard that appears if the door opens.
Tobias.
Trent, this is the last chance to come with us.
Or I love you all, Jack. Friends. Now go.
I cast erupting earth on the door.
I fucking told you.
I've
I'll turn this car right round.
Okay, make a deck save. Do you want this cube to be? It's a point you can see within range, on the ground within range. Yeah, you would be able to see from outside the door. You could damage the door? Oh. Is it centered at a point? 2.3, or 2.3, yes, it's going to get you as well. It's going to be all around. Yeah. Cool. Bree, if you make the deck save. What did you get? Okay.
Oh, that's a 1. I can reroll it.
Hey,
It's so bad. Oh.
What?
Proficiency.
No, it's a D20. But did you roll a D20? Oh,
Yeah.
there, sorry.
Oh wait, no, I did. Yes.
The dex,
Can I get to this one first?
yes, sorry, just a quick question. For this purpose, would it technically be, are they friendly creatures right now in this moment? For the purpose of an aura? Or would I not, because I'm working against them? Or just because I get to add something into a saving?
I would say that you're working across purposes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm working again. They're my friends, but for the purpose of an aura, they're probably not friendly right now.
Yeah.
Well, they're not friendly for the purposes of Trent wouldn't want them to get hurt.
Okay, so when I'm subjected to an effect that allows me to make a dex saving throw, take only half damage. I instead take no damage if I succeed, only half damage if I fail.
Right.
I got 15.
Okay, what did you get? Okay, so I want you to roll 3d12. You guess it's a third number.
yeah.
3, you take no damage.
Hey, this is it. I was really worried that I rolled an 8, but I remembered I didn't get plus 7.
So you take half of that. So you take 11. Train, you take 11. The door. Excuse me. Oh, it's closing. Okay. The door. Oh, actually, there's more in the room. Cool. Wow. So the door is just blown asunder as you just kind of focus right beneath your feet and just 20-foot cube around you. The earth just, you just go, and just the earth just just erupts out as if somebody's come from below and just punched it. And kind of like almost 5 foot kind of high kind of pillars just kind of come out of the ground. The door is just wrenched off of its hinges, and you now see on the other side 4 of the guards are knocked to the ground unconscious. 26 points of damage, yeah? I mean, like 11
Good
health, right?
spell.
Very
Maybe.
good spell. I believe
I
guards
think they
have
have like 10.
11.
Also, how badass am I avoiding it?
Yeah, I mean, just like hit the roof.
Yeah. Spider free.
Back, let's not get out of the way.
What did you say, Leo?
Guards have 11.
Yeah, I think they do 11 at some point.
Which means even the one.
Who succeeded dies.
Oh, that's like so completely.
I mean, what kind of lives did they really have? All this praying, no alcohol.
Exactly.
Yeah, no
I
alcohol.
mean, really, it was a
Even
birthday.
Trent drinks.
That life is not life.
Yeah, like a freaking animal.
So all 5 guards just like fall to the earth. Do you know what I mean? Just to the ground. The 3 of you are not knocked to the ground. You're stuck to the ceiling like a spider. And like a lizard. And then you. Yeah, that's your go. Movement.
When I was looking at it,
That's it, I am.
You're still standing like holding the door.
Attack with a door.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have 1 round before another people guard. What you'll do?
Grab train.
I'm gonna
Grab
grab
train,
train
try and
as well.
Okay. Make a make a strength. Both of you make a strength. An athletics check. Make an athletics check with disadvantage. You're doing it with disadvantage.
Yeah.
12.
Oh yeah.
Not bad for a -1.
Roll that on the table.
I'm happy either way.
You have to decide either you take floored ones or you roll it on the table.
Floored ones is fine, like if you meant to roll it.
It's an 18.
I got
Okay. So
third.
okay. So you are dragged. This is about half movement. So you get about halfway down it and it's difficult to turn. You get about halfway down the yeah. Before you look down at the end of the tunnel and you see the track starting to try and kind of clamber over the well, they're kind of, you hear shouts and kind of stuff and you see you looking down the tunnel and that's something coming over. Another movement, you're still resisting. Okay.
I quickly grab Bruce Banks by the head and say, it's the best time of my life. You have all this cool stuff to look for, and this is my quest to help you, to spread good, to save you, and to save Mr. Grippold. But these people need something. There has to be an answer for the crimes committed against them. I put them on the nose and then this is dead after the
Okay.
It's a bonus action, a teleport to 30 feet. And if that's my bonus action, I actually
I'm gonna say the decision is whether I let them try and use a reaction to stop the compassionate spell. I'm gonna say the nature of this, of the whole interaction, when you start muttering the reaction, you both have a reaction. Oh, you've got it. Then yeah, you can do that. Okay, counterspell. What level is counterspell? Third level. That automatically succeeds. Yeah. So you go try and do the silver mist starts to swirl around your feet, and then it just fades.
In that case, I'm gonna bash him on the back of the head and try and knock him out.
You still have an action and movement.
I do.
Would he have his action?
Why would he not?
It's a bonus action to cast Misty Step, though.
But you just tried casting Thunderous Smite.
No, well,
He would have done that if he'd got to the other side, but he wouldn't have done that just here.
Wait, did he get his Misty Step count?
No, yes.
So so yeah. I just stop. I just look at him and just say,
After trying.
thanks.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think? Is it your attack?
I would.
That's 24.
Presumably the hilt of the diamond.
Yes, with the hilt, I'm not trying to actually kill him, I'm just trying to knock him out so that he can easier to transport.
Roll damage with sneak attack damage.
I'm invisible.
I think that's wrong.
13, 19, 22.
Okay. I think it's fair to say. How much health do you have? 50.
If you wanted, as I wasn't trying to move at all, you could count it as a crit if you wanted to. But it's still only 44.
Yeah. I would say it probably would be, yeah, you hit him on the side of the head, and Tren, you take 44 points of damage, and you are barely on your feet, but you see it barely there. Tobias, you're up. You just see Bree, now visible, try to knock him out. It's almost worked. You've got your action. You've got your move. You've got your bonus action. Tobias.
What was it? It's not much.
Unsuccessful, but any exception of it, so you can choose your action. So, are you going to do weapons? Have to
You use a rock. There's lots of them.
You could grab one of mine.
yeah. I'm going to say there's enough ones at your disposal.
I've
can knock
got
him out
2
if you like.
daggers, a short bow, and a rapier
Swing
that I
some
never
of the gold
use.
I had that night.
You could use your action to knock him out.
I also have a bag of rocks.
It's not bad.
I'd say as you're accepting, you grab a dagger from Breeze and just knock him on the side of his head. And you just see this kind of look in Friend's eyes as he almost accepts its hand. It's like a sadness. Almost accepts it. I see
These
it
gauntlets
like-
put them on.
And between the two of you,
We're gonna grab the gauntlets on them.
okay.
Oh.
Okay, so
Oh, I thought we were just swapping them
you now have a trend in your hands, and you will be moving up half speed between the two of you for this. However, the guys have just started kind of coming over the 20 foot, but they're at half movement, so they're only maybe like 2/3 of the way across. In fact, they are speed, yeah, 2/3 of the way across.
Cow, Jennifer.
Yep,
I cast another rock
okay. On the guards.
towards the guards.
Cool. Roll your damage for me.
What? I'll kill more.
Oh,
It's gonna be like a video game, just keep piling up.
All the guards are getting obliterated. Yeah, though you knew that, but like Bree said, she was going back for that, and you guys ran on regardless. So there's no reason to suggest that Bree's not able to. You know what I mean?
Do, but
Like you all knew that train had disappeared, but you continued on your thing anyway. So
I was going to go back and I thought about it, and then started running, and then just...
okay, this is all happening within the space of like a minute anyway. Do you know what I mean? So you know. So yeah, I would say there's probably time for that. You cast a spell again, and again, it doesn't matter what I roll, all the guards that come running down. There's just another kind of eruption right at the top. This time, it almost gets to the ceiling. Just the earth is just, you know, there's barely kind of a gap through it now, as the guards are just doing right. You're now carrying an unconscious train. You get up out of the thing, and you know where to go.
I know where to go. We're trying to go.
Both make it a start. Make a stealth check with regular disadvantage because you're exhaustion, just to get across the city.
26. No, oh yeah, that is nice. So 28.
My rolls have literally been within numbers.
Really?
I rolled a 19 on blood and a 18 on blood. Wait, no, 14 here.
That's your step.
I just got
18. So, you guys run across this town in the general direction. Now, it's not the most direct route, but because it's that well. But you make your way into the merchant district. It's getting a little harder to get between alleyways as such. But you make your way to the stables, following you guys, who have been led minutes before down into this kind of dark room. There, a collection of people sitting there, hoods and kind of plain robes. And there, sitting at the head of the table, is Carlia, one of your oldest, only friends. She just looks at you, says, "Oh,
I dropped this guy's
As you drop your form, she says,
Oh, I wonder if China will ever forgive us.
oh my god.
Okay, so how not